Chapter 332. Danger lurked in the long Suwa Mountains. There are berserk beasts 18 kilometers to the right. There are berserk beasts 19 kilometers ahead at 3 o'clock. Luo Feng calmly reported the numbers one by one. The entire team was advancing at a shocking speed. This speed was something that most of the teams in the long Suwa mountain range couldn't even imagine, because in this realm lord's world, the range of telekinesis was very small, and the exploration of telekinesis would easily attract the attention of ferocious beasts. Therefore, their speed of advancement was usually very slow. One universe mercenary trainee exam could take up to 1 or 2 years. However, Luo Feng and the others were advancing extremely quickly. Babata, with you on guard, exploring is indeed much more convenient. Luo Feng praised within. This was dismantled from the Yun Mo planet ship. Everything within a diameter of 20,000 meters is intact. Even a sector lord wouldn't be able to escape detection, let alone these stupid beasts. Babata was extremely pleased with himself. The mountain forest was particularly difficult to traverse. Luo Feng and his team didn't dare to fly, because flying in the long Suwa mountain range was equivalent to becoming a target for all the ferocious beasts. The dire beasts could be easily seen when they looked up. One must know that dire beasts could also fly. At that time, a large group of ferocious beasts would besiege them, and they would have nowhere to run even if they wanted to. After spending close to 2 days, Luo Feng's group finally arrived at Demon Moon Lake. Demon Moon Lake. The lake stretched as far as the eye could see, and there was a large open space around the lake. Some of the trees had long been trampled and broken. It was obvious that a large number of ferocious beasts often passed by the lake. There are no ferocious beasts around. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. There's nothing we can do. We can only wait. Thunder God smiled. Waiting here is better than rushing to the next place where a horned iron rhino herd might appear. Our luck isn't bad. Coming to this sector lord's world of thunder, we haven't even had a real bloody battle. Hong was very relaxed. Of course the main reason they didn't have a battle was because Luo Feng had that warning device. He waited patiently. In the world of thunder, during the day there would be 9 balls of light that were similar to the sun. At night it would be pitch black, with only very inconspicuous rays of light spilling down. In the forest beside Demon Moon Lake, on the first night of waiting, Luo Feng and the others discovered 3 ferocious beasts that looked like giant lizards. On the second day they found 3 more groups of beasts. They even saw the terrifying scene of beasts killing each other. On the 6th day, 9 light orbs hovered high in the sky of the world of thunder. Luo Feng and the other 4 waited silently. What we're doing is called waiting for the hare, right? I didn't expect that I would do something like waiting for rabbits to come to me. Thunder God sat on a tree branch, occasionally looking into the distance. Just come down. If that single-horned iron rhino comes, I'll be the first to notice it. Luo Feng raised his head and smiled. On the ground were some braised meat and other food. These were all well preserved. Everyone. Luo Feng's expression became serious. Hong, who was sleeping beside him, Ao Gu, who was sitting cross-legged, and Tai Nan He, who was standing guard, swiftly looked over. What's the matter, Luo Feng? A few people looked towards Luo Feng. The horned iron rhino is here. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. They're finally here. The crowd stood up. Follow me. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and led the way through the forest. Even though there were many trees and plants in the forest, Luo Feng's nimble movements didn't touch any plant. Behind them, Hong, Thunder God, Tai Nanha, and Ao Gu also quickly followed. Soon, the 5 of them arrived at the edge of Demon Moon Lake. The single-horned iron rhinos are coming from that direction. Their speed isn't very fast. I estimate they'll arrive in about 5 minutes. Luo Feng pointed ahead. There's a total of 21 single-horned iron rhinos. After a while, creatures that looked like trucks appeared in their field of vision. Their rock-like skin made it impossible to doubt its toughness. That horn that was as sharp as a scimitar, under the illumination of the 9 balls of light in the sky, it reflected a cold light. However, its eyes were gentle. The single-horned iron rhino was a very simple ferocious beast. Ferocious beasts, the reason why they were called ferocious beasts was because of their low intelligence. In the universe, monsters were mainly divided into demon and ferocious beasts. The demon race referred to those that had higher intelligence at the student level of humans. Just like the monsters on Earth, they belonged to the demon race. A slightly more mature demon race had intelligence comparable to humans. Because of their intelligence in the vast universe, the demon race was one of the most powerful races. Ferocious beasts had strength, but low intelligence. They didn't know how to learn. Some were cruel, some were gentle. The only thing they had in common was their low intelligence. Of course, monsters, other than the demon and ferocious beasts, there were also god beasts. Just like the space beasts, they were known as the space god beasts. Damn, this group of single-horned iron rhinos are very strong. Thunder God lowered his head to look at the screen on his arm, communicating through genetic energy. They are very strong. The 5 of us are hard to deal with. We can only think of a way to separate them. Anyway, we only need 5 horns. Luo Feng communicated through spiritual energy to the others. Separate? These ferocious beasts have low intelligence. They should be easy to trick. What way? As Luo Feng and the others were discussing softly, Luo Feng's expression changed. He said softly, "A small human team is swiftly approaching. They should have discovered the single-horned iron rhinos that went to drink." As Demon Moon Lake was a lake, there were no obstructions. Even from far away, they could still see the monsters in the distance. A small human team appeared in their field of vision. Everyone in the team was wearing the same black battle uniform. Kill. Black silhouettes fiercely burst forth with their fastest speed, creating sonic booms as they charged straight towards the group of single-horned iron rhinos that were drinking. 21 single-horned iron rhinos fiercely raised their heads and looked over. The leader of the single-horned iron rhinos immediately raised his head and let out a majestic and angry roar. Roar! Every single human soldier was incomparably calm. Working together in pairs, they surrounded one single-horned iron rhino and swiftly killed it. A total of 10 members of the team, instantly killing 4 single-horned iron rhinos. 9-star level 9 stages, 1-star level 2 stage. Luo Feng looked at the screen, saying softly, "This little team, isn't there a little too many star level 9s? That weak one probably has some status, hence he brought so many underlings." Participating in the Universe Adventure Alliance had already become a tradition. One had to know that over 99% of the strong had to go through this test. Many of the disciples of the big families had to go through the mercenary trainee exam. For safety, bringing a group of star level 9 underlings was very normal. Even though the family's rules were to train the disciples, as time went on, many of the rules would eventually deviate from what the family wanted. 9-star level 9s, they can indeed deal with 21 single-horned iron rhinos. Hong said softly. Damn, after waiting for so long, it's been snatched away by some rich kid. Thunder God cursed softly. He was annoyed. However, the opponent had 9-star level 9s, their equipment seemed to be good too, their coordination was excellent. What could his own team do? They could only watch dumbfoundedly. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. Something good is coming. Something good? Thunder God looked suspiciously at Luo Feng. This is something good? Who knows, we might even be able to get our horns. Luo Feng looked expectantly into the distance. Kill. Kill them all, collect the horns of the single-horned iron rhino, we'll immediately leave. A fair-skinned youth wielded a long and narrow battle blade, as he battled with the smallest horned iron rhinoceros. This small horned iron rhinoceros only had the strength of a star level 1, and he could indeed trample it as he pleased. Yes. The group of star level 9s replied in unison. Fresh blood flew. Roars of rage and disbelief resounded continuously. One by one, the single-horned iron rhinos fell. This group of single-horned iron rhinos was only a star level 9, the rest were even weaker. Against these 9 star level 9s, they were completely at a disadvantage, more and more of them died. Rumble, the earth trembled. A roar resounded from the forest beside. The earth began to tremble. The remaining 5 single-horned iron rhinos immediately roared excitedly. At this time, not too far away from the forest appeared the silhouettes of the huge single-horned iron rhinos. Not good, quickly leave. One of the 9 black-clothed underlings immediately shouted. Your Majesty, over 50 single-horned iron rhinos are rushing over. The few at the front are extremely powerful, quickly leave. Quickly, protect the 9th prince. Quickly. Immediately, one of the black-clothed underlings grabbed the 9th prince, stepping on a streamlined flying spirit weapon that looked like a huge sword, swiftly escaping. The other 8 underlings swiftly took a look at the horns and madly followed behind to escape. Large amounts of huge single-horned iron rhinos rushed out. Every single one of them seemed to have red eyes, completely enraged. Over 50 single-horned iron rhinos, and these were all the adult males of the single-horned iron rhinos, all of them madly trampled on the forest ground, madly chasing after the group of black-clothed men. Luo Feng's group of 5 watched as the majestic single-horned iron rhinos madly chased after the elite team, leaving behind only the corpses of the single-horned iron rhinos. Quick! Luo Feng led the way and rushed out. Haha, we got them so easily. Which empire is that 9th prince from? A low-level universe empire, or the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? I think he's just a low-level empire that rules over 1 or 2 galaxies. Thunder God muttered. The group of people swiftly rushed towards the single-horned iron rhino's corpse. Even though the group of black-clothed men cut off 10 horns, 6 of the corpses still had horns on them. Poochie! The soaring shuttle became a golden swordfish, directly cutting off the horn on the forehead of one of the single-horned iron rhinos. Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He, and Aogu also swiftly went to cut off the horn. In the group of single-horned iron rhinos chasing after the black-clothed men, one of the single-horned iron rhinos turned its head and stared over, letting out an angry roar. Immediately, over 20 single-horned iron rhinos immediately turned their heads and madly rushed over. They hated humans who dared to kill the corpses of their own kind. Quickly! Luo Feng urged. Luo Feng, 12 kilometers away, there's a small team of humans that originally occupied Demon Moon Lake. Right now, they're rushing over with astonishing speed, probably to kill you. Babata's reminder rang in Luo Feng's mind. Chapter 333. The horn of the single-horned iron rhino. Luo Feng swiftly kept it into his space ring, using his spirit energy to shout, "Hurry and leave, there's a small team behind." What? Hong and Thunder God were shocked. Without hesitation, the 5 immediately rushed into the forest beside, leaving behind the huge corpses of the horned iron rhinos. 12 kilometers, to a star-level warrior. If it was in the outside world, they would be able to pass through in a second. Even in this Sector Lord's world, the speed would slow down, but it wouldn't take long. Within the forest, Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle, flipped his hands. A shield and an alloy blade appeared in his hands. He even put on a normal alloy armor. Alloy armor, blade, etc., they weren't expensive, as they didn't have any amplification effects. However, the materials used were extremely sturdy, reaching the D grade. D grade alloy. If it was a universe ship, it would definitely be shockingly expensive. However, blades, alloy armor, shields, etc. were extremely cheap. Chi-Chi, a blood-red helmet swiftly extended from Luo Feng's head. This was an extension of the Cloud Contact Vine. Wielding a hexagonal shield, an alloy blade, the reflecting cold metal armor wrapped around Luo Feng's body, looking like a leather jacket. His entire body was as fast as lightning, swiftly escaping, thinking anxiously. Babata, how strong is that team? 7-star level 9 stages, 1-star level 2 stage, 1-star level 3 stage. Babata said. Bastard. Luo Feng cursed within. The opponent's speed is very fast, the distance is shrinking too. 8 kilometers. 6 kilometers. Babata continuously informed Luo Feng. There are 7-star level 9 stages behind us. Luo Feng used his spirit energy to communicate to Hong, Thunder God, Ao Gu and Tai Nan He. We're in big trouble. Hong and the others all felt the pressure. At this time, the chasing team was constantly shrinking the distance between them and Luo Feng's team. The distance had already shrunk to less than 1 kilometer. His face was like a knife, the skin on his face was crystal clear, almost like jade, one could even see the blood vessels under his skin. His eyes squinted and his smile seemed harmless. At this moment, he was dressed in a leather-like origin power armor and had a huge battle blade on his back that was almost as tall as him. He was currently being held by his comrade by the hand, relying on his comrade's psychic weapon to quickly chase after him. Humph! He looked down at the AI screen on his arm. 2-star level 9s and 3-star level 1s and 2s? Humph! So weak. 600 meters, 500 meters, 400 meters. He kept calculating the distance. He could already see the team that was rapidly advancing in front of him. Many of the other 8 members were wearing goggles, but the goggles also had the effect of a screen, and from time to time, strings of data would flash past. Surround them! He ordered via origin power transmission. Yes. 7 of the other 8 members obeyed. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The group swiftly spread out and surrounded Luo Feng's group of 5. Luo Feng and the others stopped and looked at the 9 people surrounding them. This was still within the boundaries of the long Sua mountain range, and there were many towering trees in the surroundings. There were even some claw marks left behind by vicious beasts. Such sturdy trees were rarely seen in the universe. People couldn't help but praise the methods of the Realm Lord. Who's the leader? The youth in the lead of the 9 shouted, his gaze sweeping across Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God. Obviously, the participants of the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam mostly arranged for the stronger ones to protect the important younger members. The weaker ones, on the other hand, gave the orders. It's me. Luo Feng stared at the youth in front of him. Who are you and what do you want? Haha, your question sure is stupid. Don't you know what we want? The youth sneered, his eyes filled with arrogance, as though he was looking at a beggar. Punk, hand over all 6 horns of the horned iron rhino, and I can spare your lives. If you don't. The youth laughed coldly. Luo Feng looked at the group of people surrounding them. The screen on his arm displayed a large amount of data. Why are you wasting time with them? Just kill them. A young lady dressed in a black battle uniform beside the youth said coldly. The youth raged within. This idiot, can't he see that they have 2-star level 9s? Even though we can win, if we really fight and they fight to the death, even if we can kill them, we'll probably lose some people. If we can get the horn without dying, wouldn't that be better? My partner can't wait any longer. The youth's gaze swept across Luo Feng's group of 5. Better give us an answer. Surrounded in the center. Luo Feng's group of 5, Tai Nan He and Ao Gu naturally looked towards their master, Luo Feng. Hong and Thunder God also exchanged glances with Luo Feng. Horned iron rhino's horn? Luo Feng flipped his hand and took out a horn, looking at the youth in front of him. Horn? We can give you one. Sick. Not one less. The youth said coldly. The other 8 stared at Luo Feng's group of 5. Before this, they had seen 21 one-horned iron rhinos drinking water by the lake. 16 of them had died, and 10 of their horns had been taken away by a group of people, so they were very sure that this group of yellow-skinned, black-haired humans in front of them had taken away 6 horns. Black-haired punk, the young lady beside shouted, we are from the 100 Tiger Building, Hurry up and hand over the horns, otherwise, 100 Tiger Building? One of the 4 great universe organizations within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Coming from the 100 Tiger Building, it meant that this group of people were definitely well trained, at least in terms of battle, they were definitely exceptional. Are you handing it over or not? The youth was getting angry. Don't waste your breath with them, the young lady urged. Luo Feng's group of 5 in the center of the encirclement felt a huge pressure. Luo Feng could feel that the other group was obviously losing their patience. Ao Gu. Luo Feng communicated through his spirit reading. Master. The old man Ao Gu replied. The moment we make our move, follow what I told you before we came to the Sector Lord's world. Do you know what to do? Understood. Ao Gu replied. Luo Feng coldly surveyed the 100 Tiger Building team before him, his gaze sweeping past the star level 9 warriors with protective goggles, finally landing on the young man and woman. The horn, I'll give you at most 1. If you're still not satisfied, let me remind you, the moment some things happen, it'll be too late for regret. Trying to scare me? The youth laughed coldly. Humph. The young lady turned and exchanged glances with the youth. The two retreated almost simultaneously. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Other than 1 star level 9 warrior protecting the 2 of them, the other 6 exploded simultaneously. And at the moment they exploded, Luo Feng, who was standing beside Ao Gu's, eyes went cold. Shwa. In mid-air, a blue shard appeared. Ao Gu's spirit reading was like a hand, grabbing onto the shard's body, revealing only the blade's edge. The blade's edge, strangely, had a faint red glow. Yes, this was the hybrid copper essence that had been coated with a layer of alloy, only the sharp edge wasn't covered. This move was Luo Feng's current killing move. To let the strongest spirit reader slave Ao Gu use the hybrid copper essence shard, with the hybrid copper essence's sharpness, if Ao Gu were to use it, he would probably be able to injure even a universe level. Xiao. The blue blade flashed in an arc, as fast as lightning towards the incoming star level 9 enemies. Master, be careful, it's a spirit attack. Ao Gu, who had long released his spirit energy, warned. He only used half of his focus to control the hybrid copper essence shard, the rest of his focus was on defense, because Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God's soul defenses couldn't withstand a star level 9 spirit reader's soul attack. Chi. 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 Ao Gu blocked the 3's spirit energy attacks. Chi. 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 The blue blade aura easily swept past the star level 9 warriors. Under the extremely fast and sharp blade aura, all the fighters and spirit readers wearing protective goggles, their expressions serious and confident, all had their heads sliced off, their skulls exploding and their brains splattering everywhere. Before they died, their eyes behind the goggles were filled with shock and fear. Impossible! The confident young man and lady watching from afar stared wide-eyed. Star level 9 warriors. They couldn't even withstand a single blow? What they didn't know was, the opponent's spirit weapon's level of sharpness was terrifying. The UNMO planet ship accelerated, whatever meteorite or small planet, it directly collided with it, slicing through a small planet. Even against a group of meteorites, its level of sharpness was unimaginable. Even a Sector Lord warrior, under the UNMO planet ship's acceleration, could be easily sliced apart by its sharp edges. Flee! The youth sent the order to his underling, a star level 9 spirit reader. The underling brought the youth along, while simultaneously bringing the lady. Throw her down, quickly, the youth ordered. Yes. In terms of position, the lady was lower than the youth. And this bodyguard was clear. The moment the opponent's spirit reader's speed increased, even if he brought the 2 of them, they probably wouldn't be able to escape. Who? The bodyguard immediately brought the youth, stepping on the spirit weapon, swiftly becoming a beam of light and escaping. Wait for me. The young lady's expression was one of defeat. She turned her head and saw the blue light that killed the 6 star level 9 warriors arcing through the air, flying towards her. The lady's expression was malevolent, her eyes filled with venom. Cho Yu Chi. Her brain exploded. In the blink of an eye, 6-star level 9 warriors, including an elite of the 100 Tiger Building, were all killed. On the other hand, the young man called Cho Yu and his bodyguard had long since escaped without a trace. Stop chasing, Luo Feng said. Yes, master. Ao Gu and Tai Nanha said respectfully. Luo Feng immediately kept the hybrid copper essence shard back into his storage ring. If he wanted to chase after that person, he would have to let Ao Gu chase after him. Also, Ao Gu couldn't bring anyone with him. If he did, Ao Gu probably wouldn't be able to catch up. That way, with only Luo Feng and his team left, it wouldn't be safe in the long Suan mountain range. And Luo Feng couldn't possibly let Ao Gu carry the hybrid copper essence shard far away from him to chase and kill people. Babata, will they be fine escaping? Luo Feng asked within. I'm fine. He doesn't know your identity at all. Even if he did, you don't have a fixed place to stay. Even if you go back, you'll be going back to Earth. What are you afraid of? Babata didn't care at all. A barefooted person isn't afraid of someone with shoes. You're barefooted right now. P.S. Chapter 1. Get more monthly votes. Chapter 334. Song Lan Star, Sector Lord's World. Luo Feng and the other 4 were swiftly cleaning up the battlefield. Haha, no wonder they're the elites of the 100 Tiger Building's younger generation. This little girl actually uses an AI. I don't need to buy an AI, I'll just use this. Thunder God was very proud. Luo Feng was using an AI life form that surpassed AI, Hong was using an AI quantum computer, and Thunder God was using an auxiliary quantum computer. And the space ring. And the spirit weapon. These 6-star level 9 stages added together, they can't even compare to this little girl's treasures. Tai Nan he made his move, swiftly sweeping away all the valuable items. Of the 6-star level 9 stages, 3 were spirit readers and 3 were fighters. However, their standards were similar to the Nulan Shan guards, hence they were the lowest level cannon fodder in the 100 Tiger Building. This time, they were here to protect the 2 elite. Ao Gu, this flying spirit weapon is yours. Tai Nan he, pick whichever genetic energy weapon you like. This space ring. Luo Feng's gaze swept across Thunder God, Ao Gu and Tai Nan he. Thunder God shouted, let me take a look at this space ring, the one I use is the smallest. Of the 5 in the team, Luo Feng and Hong already had their own space rings. Thunder God bought his own. It was the smallest one he bought. Haha, it really is bigger than my space ring. Thunder God was extremely happy. Thunder God, Tai Nan he and Ao Gu adjusted their equipment, after which they swiftly left the battlefield, arriving at the foot of a mountain 1,000 km away before stopping. Next, we should go find the Wind Cornerstone. Luo Feng looked at the others. The Wind Cornerstone, there's only one place in the Sector Lord's world, the most central area of the world of thunder, the Canyon of Wind and Thunder. Hong looked at the screen on his arm, gently tapping on it, from here to the Canyon of Wind and Thunder. The distance is over 300,000 kilometers. Even if everything goes smoothly, it'll still take close to a month to reach there. 300,000 kilometers. In the Sector Lord's world, firstly, the gravity was too strong, and secondly, Luo Feng and the others couldn't fly at their highest speed. Hence, relying on Babata's vigilance, it was the smoothest. They could only travel about 10,000 kilometers a day. The horned iron rhinos live in a few places in the Sector Lord's world, all far away from the central area. No matter where we go to hunt one-horned iron rhinos, we still have to go to the Wind and Thunder Canyon. Thunder God creased his eyebrows. This Universe Mercenary Alliance, arranging this mission, it's obvious they want us to cross half of the Sector Lord's world. In the Realm Lord's world, there were naturally many threats. Traversing through half of the Realm Lord's world was definitely a life and death crisis. Even if there was a warning system, it would not be of much use against some natural threats. This is training, elimination. Luo Feng shook his head. The Universe Mercenary Alliance wants to eliminate a bunch of unqualified people. If you can't even pass this, you won't have the right to wander the universe in the future. Yes. Hong nodded. From where we are, there are 3 paths to the Wind and Thunder Canyon in the core region of the Realm Lord's world. Everyone take a look. Which one should we take? These 3 paths. Thunder God looked at the map on the screen. They are all quite dangerous. The first path, Luo Feng said. There were slightly more ferocious beasts on the first path, so there were naturally fewer threats. Of course, that was only relative to the other 2 paths. Alright, the first one. Hong nodded. Then let's go, Thunder God said. Luo Feng's team began their longest journey in the Sector Lord's world. They didn't dare to fly in mid-air. That would only attract the ferocious beasts and be a death wish. The Sector Lord's world was heaven and hell. The unexplored Sector Lord's world, to many adventurers and mercenaries, was a huge treasure trove, a heaven. At the same time, it was filled with danger. If one wasn't careful, they could lose their life. However, there would still be large amounts of adventurers and universe mercenaries rushing in. And this world of thunder had already been explored a long time ago. Right now, it was only used as a tool to test for trainee mercenaries. Bastard! Beside a thistle bush in the long Suo mountain range, Cho Yu single-handedly grabbed the huge blade, gritting his teeth. Thinking about the venomous voice of his female companion before she died, thinking about the seemingly beautiful blue blade cutting down the star level 9 stage corpses, Cho Yu was filled with rage and fear. His entire body couldn't help but tremble with rage. This was his first time entering the Sector Lord's world. In the past, he was a genius. Along with many other geniuses, he was carefully nurtured by the 100 Tiger building. Even though nurturing was tiring, there wasn't any danger to his life. However, this time, I almost died. Cho Yu's heart was pounding. In the past, he had many fantasies about the future. He had killed before. However, when he faced death himself, he realized that he was actually so afraid of death. The instructor said that fear isn't wrong. However, you must remain calm. Fear is also a form of strength, a strength that can allow the body to evolve. Calm. Cho Yu gradually calmed down. Looking at the bodyguard beside him, he ordered, "Help me guard the surroundings. I'm entering the virtual universe." Yes. The bodyguard replied respectfully. The 100 Tiger building had orders for these young elites who entered the Sector Lord's world to participate in the Universe Mercenary Trainee exams. Every day, they had to use the Virtual Universe Network to send a mail to the supervisor. If a comrade died, the mail had to explain it. As long as the mail was sent, it meant that the comrade was still alive. Virtual Universe Network, Black Dragon Mountain Island. His entire body was fat, with 2 horns on his head. A fat man was lying on a chair. In front of him floated a screen. A mail appeared on the screen. Another one reporting that he's still alive. Open it. The fat man said slowly. The mail automatically opened. The fat man looked at it slowly. After which he stood up fiercely, staring in shock at the mail. This 8th team only has 2 people left alive? And one of them even lost a level 2 elite? The fat man sent a communication request to the other 7 members of the 8th team. Indeed, there was no reply. The 100 Tiger building usually assigned bodyguards according to the importance of the young generation. For example, a team of 10 would have 5 youths and 5 bodyguards, and some teams would have 1 youth and 9 bodyguards. This 8th team originally had a total of 8 bodyguards. 2 of them were youths. They had lost a bodyguard before. Obviously, the 8th team was considered a more important team. To the 100 Tiger building, losing a level 3 elite was painful. Losing a level 2 elite was even more painful. If they were to lose a level 1 elite, they would be hopping mad. As for special elites, It was hard for the 100-tiger building to even meet one. Those absolute geniuses were hard to come by. In the universe, the fat man opened his eyes. Through the external simulation, he saw a huge object in the distant space. Since I'm about to reach the headquarters, I might as well report this personally. That huge object was a planet. Accurately speaking, it was a planet that seemed to be made of alloy. This was the headquarters of the 100-tiger building, Black Tiger Star. This Black Tiger Star was basically a large planet fortress. It was completely black. On it were many deep tunnels that led directly into the planet. And on the surface of the planet, there were thick cannons that could destroy a D-grade universe ship in one shot. There were also magnetic rail cannons, large laser cannons, and many other weapons. On the entire planet, there were some places that occasionally emitted a dark blue glow. Universe ships after universe ships covered the sky and land. They were like countless locusts. Occasionally, large amounts of them would fly into the planet from the tunnels. Occasionally, large amounts of universe ships would fly out from the tunnels. Those ships, with a glance, seemed to be at least C-grade. There were even D-grade ships and occasionally E-grade ships. The ships that covered the sky and land were like locusts. And the planet fortress was a huge object, constantly swallowing large amounts of ship. This was the headquarters of the 100-tiger building, one of the 4 great universe organizations of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. There were many sector lord warriors stationed here all year round. The entire planet was made from a very normal mineral planet. They spent an astronomical amount of wealth to transform it into a fortress. Planet Fortress. D. The chubby man's spaceship followed the guidance signal from the planet's fortress and flew into one of the many deep tunnels on the surface of Black Tiger Planet. From space, these deep tunnels were very small and inconspicuous, but once one flew closer, one would realize that each tunnel was more than 100 kilometers wide. The universe ship entered the tunnel. Has the new equipment been installed? The fat man looked carefully at the walls on both sides of the tunnel. On the walls, there were more black centipede-like alloy frames embedded into the walls. After a while, the universe ship entered the docking bay. The fat man was dressed in a blue long robe. He followed the 2 sides of the virtual sky and white clouds along the wide corridor. On this corridor, one could see over 100 people. Almost everyone was dressed in a blue long robe. Only 2 of them were dressed in white, and on their chests hung 2-star mercenary badges. "Greetings, Lord." Passing by the 2 white-robed men, the fat man bowed. Everyone else in the corridor did the same. In the 100-tiger building, blue robes represented the universe level, as well as a few people with important positions. The fat man was only a star level. However, due to his authority, he had the right to wear a blue robe. White robes represented the domain lords and a few of the upper echelons. Black robes represented the sector lords. As for the undying beings? Even if the 100-tiger building had produced undying beings in its history, they would have long gone to the Ganwu Universe country or other places. To the undying beings, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire wasn't able to contain them. No matter, the 100-tiger building, Black Cloud Guild, North Dragon City, 3-Axe Mountain, these 4 great universe organizations were considered huge in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Their foundations were deep and the universe-level warriors under them were numerous. Even the Empire's royal family didn't dare to provoke them. Just looking at the 100-tiger building's universe ships that covered the skies and earth, one could see their power. Chapter 335. Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, on the famous Songlan star, in the world of thunder. Luo Feng has been in the world of thunder for 36 days. On the prairie, weeds grew everywhere. Some of the weeds were over 10 meters tall. Under the nurturing of the universe source energy, these weeds were extremely tough. They were comparable to grade A alloys and much tougher than the diamonds on Earth. The wind blew and the grass bent over. Sometimes, a few ferocious beasts that were resting on the prairie would appear. 5 streaks of light quickly flew past the underbrush. In the distance, a gigantic beast covered in green scales lay there with its head drooping down like a small mountain. It raised its head and glanced over as if it had sensed something. It let out a low roar, and then lowered its head again. We've already left the territory of the ferocious beast green-scaled crocodile. There's a group of ferocious beasts 9 kilometers in the 11 o'clock direction. We'll go around them. The 5 flowing lights slightly paused. Luo Feng, who was wearing an alloy battle uniform, communicated through his spiritual force. Let's go, we'll rest after another 3,000 kilometers today. Yes, Master. Tai Nan He and Ao Gu were both extremely respectful. Whoosh! The 5 flowing lights continued to fly forward. With Babata's warning, I thought the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam would be much easier. Who would have thought that it would be more complicated than I thought? Luo Feng's gaze looked into the distance as he flew on his soaring shuttle. The weeds on both sides swiftly retreated. I thought I could reach the Valley of Thunder in a month, but now it looks like I'll need at least half the time. After nearly 4 hours. Stop, Luo Feng communicated. The 5 of them stopped at the same time. Even Hong and Thunder God listened to Luo Feng's orders in the world of thunder, because they knew that Luo Feng had a special warning device that could detect danger within a certain range. Tainan He, Ao Gu, you guys take turns guarding. Big brother, second brother, and I will rest first, said Luo Feng. Yes, master, the 2 of them respectfully replied. Luo Feng looked around. It was already night time, and the weeds were growing everywhere, making it almost impossible to see the surroundings with the naked eye. Our luck is pretty good today. We didn't encounter any danger. Thunder God let out a smile. Now we can finally take a breather. I was also worried that it would be like yesterday. Hong also heaved a sigh of relief. Luo Feng couldn't help but think back to yesterday's scene. He was still a little scared. Yesterday, his little team was advancing according to the usual route. Originally, they were advancing very easily according to the usual route. However, suddenly, with the help of the alarm system, they discovered that there were 5 ferocious beasts rushing towards them from 18 kilometers away. Obviously, they had discovered their little team long ago. If there was nothing obstructing his line of sight, it was normal for star states to see more than 100 kilometers with their naked eyes. These 5 beasts were chasing after his team, so it was actually easy for them to escape. After all, there were weeds everywhere. But perhaps one of the 5 vicious beasts had a particularly sharp nose, as it chased after the 5 of them. In the process, it even let out a series of roars, attracting the attention of the other vicious beasts on the prairie. In an instant, the team of 5 dire beasts chasing after them turned into hundreds of dire beasts chasing after them. In the end, they had to rely on Ao Gu and the hybrid copper essence shard, as well as the 2 liquid silver guards. They had to risk their lives to escape. Our luck yesterday was still not bad. Luo Feng exclaimed. If it was the Black Ring Snake group that appeared later, if they had appeared earlier and formed an encirclement with the hundreds of ferocious beasts, we really wouldn't have been able to escape. Black Ring Snake group? Thunder God stared. Don't even mention it. Just thinking about yesterday makes me scared. Yesterday was our worst day in the world of thunder. Make the best use of our time and train well. Hong ordered softly. There are very few opportunities to train in the world of thunder. All right. Luo Feng and Thunder God didn't speak further. They closed their eyes and began to train. Luo Feng was very satisfied with his training days in the world of thunder. Even though there were occasional accidents along the way, making him very worried, and even brushing shoulders with death a few times. But under this kind of pressure, the progress he made during these 36 days of cultivation was very, very shocking. Maybe it was because the world of thunder was filled with universe energies, allowing him to train even faster. Or maybe it was because of the evolution catalyst he got from the virtual universe. Anyway, 36 days, adding the time it took to rush from Bailan Star to Dragon Star, and then from Dragon Star to Tsanglan Star. These 2 months allowed him to go from the Star Level 2 stage to the Star Level 3 stage. This was just a simple improvement in his body's fitness level. The real improvement was in his comprehension of the soaring shuttle and soul imprint. Luo Feng's personal virtual space. On a mountain peak that reached the clouds, a white-robed Luo Feng appeared out of thin air. Beside him was a blood-red castle erected on the mountain peak. Rumble, the castle opened. Master! The 18 rock giants respectfully shouted. Luo Feng directly entered the castle. Under Mei Ji's lead, he entered the training room. The 4 walls of the training room were filled with bookshelves. The bookshelves were filled with books. These were all Yun Mo Planet's secret manuals. And Luo Feng directly walked to one of the bookshelves and took out a golden book, Soul Imprint Volume 2. Holding the book, Luo Feng directly sat on a chair and opened the book to read. Chi-Chi Shishi. The demon Babata, who was covered in a black robe and had blood-red eyes, sat on the side. He held a bright red apple and took a big bite. He glanced at Luo Feng and continued to eat his apple without a care. Suddenly, he froze and stopped. He turned his head towards Luo Feng and carefully looked at the book in Luo Feng's hand. Luo Feng? Yelled Babata in shock. What's up? Luo Feng raised his head and looked at Babata in confusion. You've already finished learning the basics of Soul Imprint? Said Babata in shock. Among the secret manuals of Yun Mo Planet, Soul Imprint is ranked number 1. And ever since Luo Feng received these secret manuals, he learned the most basic parts of the few important books that Babata arranged for him. After that, he started to study according to his interests. Luo Feng mainly studied the 2 manuals Soul Imprint and Tower of the Void. Because from the descriptions in the books, it was clear that the master of Yun Mo Planet was very proud of these 2 manuals. The master of Yun Mo Planet once said in Soul Imprint, "The Soul Imprint technique is the most important technique of my Yun Mo Planet. It is also the biggest reason why I, Hu Yenbo, rose to power," and the master of Yun Mo Planet once said in Tower of the Void, "Disciple, you cannot slack off on your training in the Tower of the Void." Back then, if I could complete the 7-level pagoda of the Tower of the Void, I wouldn't have lost my life. When traveling in the universe, you have to train hard in your defensive techniques. And so, Luo Feng has been training hard in these 2 techniques. Training in these techniques requires a large amount of time and energy, and also requires comprehension, and it hasn't been long since he received these manuals. Even though his strength has increased quite quickly, it's mainly because of the body of the golden horn beast that allowed his strength to increase so quickly. Otherwise, according to Babata's plan, he would need 50 years to reach the star level. The main reason is because his foundation needs to be solid. And after spending so much time, Luo Feng finally completed the most basic requirements of Soul Imprint, and Tower of the Void still remained at the most basic first level. What's the matter, Babata, is it weird? Luo Feng was shocked. You've met all the requirements in Soul Imprint Volume 1? Babata asked. I've met all of them, Luo Feng said. Oh? No wonder you're a soul born from the body of the golden horn beast, you're strong enough. Babata couldn't help but to compliment. I thought it would take a few more years. Right, Luo Feng, from today onwards, you can learn the 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint from Soul Imprint Volume 2. This is the most basic Soul Imprint. When you completely learn the 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint, you'll have the right to condense the Slave Imprint. Babata explained. Luo Feng listened with anticipation. Using the Soul Imprint technique to truly control a person is very difficult. It requires a higher level of skill in the Soul Imprint technique. At least, he can't do it right now. I'll first learn the 10,000 Blade Soul Imprint? Luo Feng flipped open the book. Babata, there are so many soul imprints here, why this one? Luo Feng couldn't help but to ask. Stupid. It's better to focus on a few things. Babata scolded. Don't you specialize in the soaring shuttle? Then the requirement for the soul imprint technique is to be able to affect the enemy. This 10,000 blade soul imprint uses the soul imprint to form a sword, a direct soul attack. Give the enemy a headache. If they're distracted for a moment during battle, you can use the soaring shuttle to cut them into pieces. Okay. Luo Feng nodded. Begin. Training in the 10,000 blade soul imprint isn't easy. Once you finish, with your skill in the soul imprint, you'll be able to condense the slave imprint. When that time comes, you can directly enslave others and make them your eternal servant. Just like how your teacher has 9 undying servants. Babata threw out the bait. The slave imprint. How excited. Luo Feng was really looking forward to this technique. Even if it's for the slave imprint, he has to work hard on the 10,000 blade soul imprint. While Luo Feng's consciousness was in his personal virtual space, reading the soul imprint technique and starting to practice the first offensive soul imprint technique, he learned 10,000 blade soul imprint. His other body, the golden horned beast, was completely immersed in the training of absolute space in his internal world. Internal world. On the golden continent, the golden horned beast, that was as large as a mountain range, was continuously casting the absolute space technique. Its dark golden eyes had a bit of dissatisfaction. After so long, I still can't complete the first stage of absolute space. What's going on? In the world of thunder, Luo Feng was under that kind of pressure. It seemed like his brain's comprehension increased quite a bit under the pressure, and he had some understanding towards absolute space. However, he was still far from completing the first stage of absolute space. Howl, the golden horned beast raised its head and let out an angry roar. Its current body length was already over 900 m. Yes, after consuming the 89 times metal combination for over 3 months, which was equivalent to over 22 years of normal evolution, it had already stepped into the star level 9 stage from the star level 7 stage. The golden horned beast that had reached the star level 9 stage was just one step away from stepping into the universe level. And this step was also the hardest step in the entire star level evolution process. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 336. Immersed in his training, time passed quickly. Luo Feng, it's almost daybreak. Hong and Thunder God have both stopped their training. Within the quiet training room, Babata was sleeping on a chair, his eyes closed as he spoke. Ah! Luo Feng closed the book in his hands, closing his eyes. His mind flashed through the detailed training process of the 10,000 blade soul seal technique, the process of unleashing it, the theory behind it, etc., after which Luo Feng smiled as he opened his eyes. This night, he had finally grasped the theory behind the 10,000 blade soul seal technique. From tomorrow onwards, he would officially begin training. Once he had mastered it, this 10,000 blade soul seal technique could be said to be the only soul attack technique Luo Feng had. Babata, I'm leaving. Luo Feng placed the book on the shelf. Countdown reminder, until the Newland Shan family arrives on Earth, there's still 2 years, 4 months and 29 days. Babata shouted. 2 years, 4 months and 29 days. Luo Feng muttered softly, his eyes gleaming coldly. The Newland Shan family troops that would arrive in 2 years. He had no way of placing his hopes on others. In a short 2 years, Hong and Thunder God's strength wasn't enough to help at all. He could only hold the fort for now. A little more than 2 years. What do I do? If the Newland Shan family's fleet sends a universe level 6 or 7 warrior, then how do I deal with them? Luo Feng was troubled too. His golden horned beast body could indeed step into the universe level in a few months. However, the moment he stepped into the universe level, the time required to evolve would become much longer, and if he used the metal combination, the price would be much higher than when he was in the star level. He didn't have enough money on him. Milky Way Void Region. a D3 class streamlined spaceship that looked like an axe was flying rapidly in the starry sky. Baikalluo, you've come out? Within the control room, his ears pointed, the second-generation head of the Newland Shan family. When Newland Shan turned to look at the person. The black-robed Baikalluo nodded. Dewen felt uncomfortable within. As the second-generation head of the family, naturally he had long been a disciple of the head ancestor. And this Baikalluo was his junior. However, this Baikalluo's comprehension was extremely high. He was one of the most outstanding disciples of Newland Shan. Right now, Dewen was at the Universe Level 6, while Baikalluo was at the Universe Level 8. This Baikalluo naturally had the capital to be arrogant. Universe Level 8, in terms of comprehension and battle experience, Baikalluo far surpassed the former head Dewen. Baikalluo, what kind of experts do you think there are on Earth? Even the elite squad didn't manage to send back a message before they all died. This opponent isn't weak. Dewen looked at the beautiful starry sky in front of him as he asked his junior apprentice brother beside him. Baikalluo's cold eyes looked outside. The automaton race's ships have been parked there, and no one has taken them away. Even if there are experts, they can't be that high. Dewen's eyes lit up and he said with a smile, Junior brother is right. Senior brother, how much longer until we reach Earth? Baikalluo asked coldly. Another 2 years, 4 months and 26 days, Dewen said. Oh, then I'll enter the virtual universe first, Baikalluo said, turning and leaving the control room. Dewen looked at Baikalluo's silhouette, cursing within. This bastard, leaving his cabin this time. I'm afraid he's just here to ask how much longer until we reach Earth. Before, when he went through the wormhole, he didn't even come out once. Now that we know the approximate time, I'm afraid he won't even come out once during the journey to Earth. Baikalluo, amongst the many disciples of the Newland Shan family, was one of the most solitary ones. If Luo Feng knew that the Newland Shan family had sent 2 universe-level warriors this time, one was a universe level 6 and the other a universe level 8, the pressure on him would have been much greater. It had already been 51 days since they entered the world of Thunder. No problem, let's continue. Thunder God sat on the ground and shouted. At this time Thunder God's waist was covered in fresh blood. Fresh blood had completely seeped out. Don't try to show off, after all we're very close to the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, there's still around 8,000 kilometers, we'll be there in a day. Luo Feng said softly, your injuries are very heavy, even if you use the Muya crystals, you'll still need a few hours to recover. Right, second brother, it won't be too late to leave tomorrow. Hong looked at Thunder God. Thunder God gritted his teeth, cursing softly, damn, that bastard bird. Luo Feng felt helpless within. From the long Sua mountain range to the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, they had to travel through half of the world of Thunder. Before in the long Sua mountain range, relying on Babata's warning device, they didn't meet with any danger at all, hence their group had been very optimistic. Who would have thought? Only after their group had truly traveled through half of the world of Thunder did they realize, as the elimination test world, it wasn't as easy as they had imagined. A warning of 20,000 m? In the mountains and forests it was useful because there were many places with lush trees. A distance of 20,000 m was very safe. However, in the plains, grasslands, swamps, reef mountain areas etc., some ferocious beasts could see up to 100 kilometers with their naked eyes, the moment they saw it. With the ferocious beast's speed, even if the world of Thunder's gravity was strong, they would only need 1 or 2 seconds to cross the 20 kilometers distance. The 20 kilometers warning, Luo Feng's reaction and order for the others to escape, didn't even take a second. Hence meeting with danger was very normal. Just before, a golden strange bird that looked like a huge eagle, probably flying high in the sky, saw the group below from afar, hence it swooped down to kill them. This golden strange bird's speed was extremely fast, and its power was extremely strong. Much stronger than a normal star level 9 fighter, Tainan he was sent flying on the spot. That sharp claw force wreaked havoc. Feng, Luo and Hong, with their alloy armor on the outside, had the cloud contact armor on the inside to absorb a large amount of the impact, hence they were safe and sound. However, Thunder God was the one who suffered. Luckily it was only the claw force that flew out of his body. If he had really been caught by that sharp claw, Thunder God's little life would have been gone. And that golden strange bird, after being hit by Ao Gu's soul attack, knew it was hard to win quickly, hence it immediately turned and fled. Everyone must be on guard at all times. The ferocious beast's speed is extremely fast. Once I discover them, I'll tell everyone. The time everyone has to dodge and escape will be very short. Luo Feng said seriously, we're only about 8,000 kilometers away from the Valley of Wind and Thunder, a day's journey. We can't afford to make any mistakes on the last day. We're already in such danger, those small teams that can't be on guard. Along the way, it'll definitely be a life and death crisis. Thunder God couldn't help but say, we've met with many life and death crises too. Hong said, another night of meditation. This night, Luo Feng spent his time training within the Killing Field's killing space. These 10 days of training, while training the soaring shuttle, he also trained the 10,000 Blade Soul Seal. This 10,000 Blade Soul Seal's first level was finally completed. The first level's mark was very simple, being able to unleash a Blade Soul Seal. Soul Attacks is using spirit energy to form the most effective arrangement, combining it into one attack. Back then, the spirit readers on Earth's understanding of soul attacks were very weak. Even fighters of the same level couldn't be killed by soul attacks. This Blade Soul Seal structure is obviously strange and intricate. It's even more orderly. Luo Feng was extremely happy with the Blade Soul Seal. His strength had doubled. Even against a higher level fighter, the moment his Blade Soul Seal attacks, even if they didn't die, most of them would have their minds go blank for a moment. And the soaring shuttle could take the opportunity to kill the enemy. One real and one fake. This was the strength of a spirit reader. If it was purely fake, relying on soul attacks, illusions, etc., or purely real, relying on spirit weapons, this was not displaying the true strength of a spirit reader. It was a pity, whether it was the spirit weapon techniques, or the soul attack techniques, they were all secrets. Every technique was incomparably precious, and the higher the level of the techniques, the harder it was to exchange for them. Just like the UNMO Planet Master's greatest pride, the Soul Seal, this technique, even if you used an entire galaxy to exchange for it, the undying beings wouldn't even bother. This was the reason why disciples with backgrounds and masters could cultivate faster and break through more easily. 5 beams of light stopped. It was 5 people. This small team looked at the distant mountain range. The distant mountain range seemed to be covered in snow. It was pitch black. Accurately speaking, it wasn't snow, it was the wind mixed with large amounts of rocks. At the same time, in the air above the mountain range, there were cumulus clouds. Within the cumulus clouds were lightning snakes. It seemed like lightning could strike at any time. Big Brother 30, according to the map, up ahead is the Valley of Wind and Thunder. Thunder God held his breath. Thunder clouds hang in the sky for a long time. Other than the Valley of Wind and Thunder, there's no other place in this world of thunder. Hong squinted his eyes. Luo Feng held his breath as he watched. The Valley of Wind and Thunder, the core of this world of thunder, the center, was also the most dangerous place, and one of the items needed to pass the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. The Wind Cornerstone must be obtained from the Valley of Wind and Thunder. Go! Luo Feng ordered. The 5 of them didn't fly anymore, instead walking towards the Valley of Wind and Thunder. The strange thing was, maybe because they knew the Valley of Wind and Thunder was dangerous, not a single ferocious beast appeared around the Valley of Wind and Thunder. There weren't any plants in the valley either. On the bare rocks, the rocks were black, occasionally mixed with a sliver of silver. The wind is so strong. Luo Feng couldn't even walk steadily. How strong is the wind? Thunder God and Hong couldn't help but to be shocked. Earth's level 12 typhoons, to star levels, couldn't even affect them at all. However, at this time, Luo Feng, Thunder God and Hong couldn't even walk steadily. This was unbelievable. According to the books, the wind in the Valley of Wind and Thunder, the closer to the center, the deeper the wind is, the stronger it is. The wind at the very bottom, the very center, is like a knife. It contains powerful universe energies. Even if a universe level flew to the center of the valley, he would be shredded by the crazy winds, dying without a doubt. The crazy winds cover the most dangerous bottom, however, has the most wind cornerstones. Of course, there are also many wind cornerstones dancing in the wind. The entire Valley of Wind and Thunder, the most dangerous thing is the thunder. The moment the thunder strikes, even a weak domain lord will die. Even a universe level has no chance of survival, much less a star levels. Everyone, let's talk. How do we go get those wind cornerstones? Luo Feng looked at the other four beside him. At this time a voice resounded in his mind. Luo Feng, within a 20 kilometers radius of your team, there are a total of 1,092 humans. P.S. Chapter 2 has ended, continue writing the third. Chapter 337. So many. Luo Feng was shocked, surveying his surroundings. He could barely make out the silhouettes of 2 to 3 small teams. Most of the teams are close to the canyon, and all of them are hidden. Hence, if you don't look carefully, it'll be hard to spot a few teams. Babata's voice resounded. Understood. Luo Feng said. It was completely bare. The rocks on this mountain range were almost all black, with only a few silver mixed in. Luo Feng's team carefully advanced. In the center of the mountain range, it was as though it had been chopped down by a god's blade, splitting the entire mountain range apart, forming a canyon. This huge canyon that seemed to have been formed by a blade was the Canyon of Wind and Thunder. With the universe energy as the source, the raging winds howled, mixed with large amounts of broken rocks. There were even some wind cornerstones that danced in the wind. On both sides of the canyon, in various places, there were many families and powers from the Black Dragon Mountain star field, the younger generation from many planets. They were the younger generation, and had yet to become true universe warriors. This time was their first test on the path to becoming strong. Luo Feng, this is a map. The location marked out on it is an extremely good location. It's best for your team to hide there. Babata communicated mentally. Luo Feng lowered his head to look at the screen on his arm. Follow me. Luo Feng said softly. Hong, Thunder God and the other 2 followed quietly. The closer they got to the canyon, the stronger the winds became. Luo Feng came to a boulder, fiercely lifting it up, revealing a cave, communicating mentally. Everyone go in, there's a cave inside, it connects directly to the canyon walls. You can even find such a place? Thunder God couldn't help but praise. Go in. Hong led the way in. In this world of thunder, the range of a spirit reader's spirit force was very small. That was because the range of the spirit reader's spirit force was very small in the air, and for the spirit reader's spirit force to pass through these giant rocks mixed with universe origin energy, it was absolutely impossible for someone at least at the star level to do so. Spirit energy couldn't scan, hence such a place was very hard to find. And to dig it himself? With the Canyon of Wind and Thunder having been tempered by the strong winds for a long time, it would take at least 1 to 2 years of work to completely dig it out. Luckily I had Babata's reminder. Luo Feng jumped into the cave, covering the boulder. The cave was within the mountain range. He walked along the cave until he reached one of the mountain walls leading to the Wind and Thunder Canyon. There was a hole about 30 centimeters wide on the mountain wall. What is this? Thunder God's eyes lit up. Hong Lian picked up a small, smooth stone near the entrance of the cave. The stone was mainly black, but the surface of the stone was coated with a strange blue film. The ordinary stones here were all black, or black stones with a hint of silver mixed in. Only the wind corner stone had a layer of dark blue light. It was said that the wind corner stone had been struck by lightning, but it didn't turn into powder. It just so happened that it had absorbed a trace of the power of lightning to form this strange stone. Wind corner stone, it's the wind corner stone. Thunder God said. I didn't expect to be able to pick up a wind corner stone. Luo Feng smiled as he walked to the entrance of the cave. Outside the cave, the wind howled like ghosts and howled like wolves, turning the entire sky dark. As one side of the cave was blocked, the wind was very weak. Luo Feng turned and said to the other four in the cave, "The wind outside is very terrifying. It's very hard to find another wind corner stone." Previously, there was a wind corner stone on the ground of the cave. It was probably one of the wind corner stones that flew into the cave. However, this was purely a matter of luck. Otherwise, there wouldn't only be one within the cave. Second brother, third brother, according to the books, we have 3 methods. Hong said softly. The first method is to go to the top of the canyon and risk your life to collect the wind corner stones. Because the wind gets stronger the deeper you go, the stronger it gets towards the center. Hence the wind at the top of the canyon is much weaker. At least a star level 7 or 8 would be able to withstand it. The only danger is, as it's at the highest point, it's easy to attract the lightning. That lightning in the cumulus cloud, any one of them would definitely have no chance of survival. The second method is to get close to the canyon and use spirit energy or genetic energy to pull 1 or 2 of the wind corner stones that were swept away by the wind over. This is difficult to do, but the danger is very low. It requires patience. The third method is to kill the other teams that have the wind corner stones and steal them. Everybody, which method do you think we should use? Hong looked at Thunder God and Luo Feng. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and pondered. Going to the top of the canyon to collect the wind corner stones was the fastest. If one didn't get struck by lightning, it would be like picking a stone. However, according to the experiences of the seniors, when going to the top of the canyon to collect the wind corner stones, one had to keep all the metals on one's body. It was said that the more metal one had, the more it would attract the lightning to strike. If one arranged for a metal robot to go, there was a 100% chance of being struck by lightning. And humans wearing normal clothes, the chances of being struck by lightning were about 50%. If one wore alloy armor, the chances of being struck by lightning would rise to about 2/3. This was the experience of the generations of seniors that fought in the world of thunder. The first method is very dangerous, and it's purely based on luck. It's not for us. The third method, robbing and killing the other teams? Luo Feng shook his head. The cave we're in right now is extremely good. The cave entrance is right on the mountain wall of the canyon. We'll temporarily use the second method. At the same time, we'll see how the other teams acquire the wind corner stones. Let's observe first before deciding. All right. Hong nodded. Thunder God agreed too. Hence Luo Feng and the others temporarily began their days of waiting. Catching the wind corner stones that were flying close to the entrance of the cave, one needed luck, and the other needed strength. As the raging winds made it hard for one's naked eye to see clearly, with large amounts of stones mixed within, there would occasionally be 1 or 2 wind corner stones, hence it required luck. And the moment the wind corner stones flew past the cave entrance, one had to grab them in an instant. If they missed it, they would have to wait a long time for the next time. However, the raging winds contained the universe energies. The moment the spirit energy was about to reach in, it would be destroyed and dissipated. Luo Feng's spirit energy hand could only extend about 20 centimeters out of the cave entrance, maintaining the spirit energy hand without dissipating. And the star level 9 Ao Gu's spirit energy hand could only extend 1 m out without dissipating. Exceeding 1 m, Ao Gu couldn't maintain the stability of his spirit energy. On the contrary, what made Luo Feng pleasantly surprised was the cloud contact vine that was currently a star level 4. After shrinking, it formed a vine that was extremely sturdy, able to reach about 2 m deep into the wind with lightning speed and swiftly retract. Even though the vine was covered in wounds, its recovery speed was indeed able to maintain the 2 m deep result. This indeed made Luo Feng surprised, pleasantly surprised. He reckoned that this raging wind infused with the universe energies was even more destructive to spirit energy-like existences, but to plants like the vine, it probably had less of a destructive effect. In the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, the majority of the teams relied on this method of waiting to grab the wind cornerstones, occasionally forcing the slave bodyguards to risk their lives at the top of the canyon to grab the wind cornerstones. However, such teams were very rare. After all, the slave bodyguards were also a part of their battle strength. Losing one or two would have a huge impact on the team. On the third day in the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, Luo Feng and the others acquired their second wind cornerstone. On the fifth day in the Canyon of Wind and Thunder, Luo Feng and the others acquired their third wind cornerstone. On the ninth day, they acquired their fourth wind cornerstone. And this was still because of their good location. A normal team, just passing through half of the world of Thunder, would require a year and a half. Collecting the wind cornerstones would require another year and a half. Hence, spending a few years of effort was normal. Luo Feng and his team were already considered to be an extremely efficient team. On the 32nd day in the Canyon of Wind and Thunder. This cave's location is really good. If this goes on in another month, we'll definitely be able to collect all the wind cornerstones. Thunder God laughed. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He and Aogu, the five of them sat cross-legged. One of the vines extended from Luo Feng's arm and stopped at the entrance of the cave, ready to attack at any time. And in front of the five of them was a projection screen on the mountain wall. It was created by Luo Feng's living AI Babata. On the screen were 4 images, depicting the scenery within a 20 kilometers radius. Even though we're in the cave, we can clearly see the situation within the 20 kilometers radius. Luo Feng laughed. How refreshing! Thunder God complimented. Look, there's another 2 teams rushing over, dodging really quickly. This spirit reader is not bad too. Thunder God's eyes gleamed, evaluating one of the images that suddenly appeared 2 teams. However, his expression froze, saying, "It's Hurua." Hurua? Luo Feng's expression changed. Back when he, his big brother and second brother were in the virtual universe killing fields, they made quite a few friends. Amongst them were Hurua and Bulemu. Before, Hurua and Bulemu said they wanted to participate in the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. The entire Black Dragon Mountain star field was in this place. Hurua and the others being here was very normal. Let's go. Hong was the first to rush out. Aogu and Tainan he looked at Luo Feng. Quickly. Luo Feng didn't hesitate. Immediately the 5-man team swiftly followed the other end of the cave and rushed out, using their spirit energy to sweep away the unremarkable rocks. After the 5 of them came out, they put the rocks down again. In the distance, Hurua's team was currently being pressured and attacked by another team. Hurua's team only had 2-star level 9s, while the opponent had 5-star level 9s. However, both sides were mostly injured. Obviously they were fighting crazily. Both teams swiftly noticed another team rushing over from the distance. Hurua! Spirit energy transmission resounded in his ears. Hurua turned his head to look. Within the 5 lightning silhouettes rushing over were Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God, his 3 good friends. He immediately revealed a look of glee, and the 2 rushing at the front were Tainan He and Aogu, especially Aogu, who had released his spirit weapon from afar, becoming a golden beam of light. 2-star level 9s? The enemy team looked. The quantum computer had long since determined the opponent's strength. Retreat. Quickly retreat. The captain ordered. Without any hesitation, the team swiftly retreated. Even though they had 5-star level 9s, 3 of them were injured. One had to know. There were strong and weak star level 9s. The strong ones could fight 10 of the same level and level. Hurua's team had a rather strong star level 9. This was also the reason why they were able to hold on for so long even though they were at a disadvantage. And the two rushing over right now, daring to rush over meant they had confidence. The two teams converged. The enemy team thought they wouldn't be able to hold on. Even if they could, with both sides heavily injured, the enemy team wouldn't be willing, hence they decided to retreat. Luo Feng's team and Herua's team converged. "Thank you. You are." Immediately a bald youth with green markings on both sides of his face walked over to thank them. "They are my friends," Herua said, simultaneously walking forward. "Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God," Herua said. "What happened? How did it end up like this?" Luo Feng and the other two looked at Herua. Thunder God said, "Herua, aren't you from the North Dragon City organization? How did you end up like this?" Thunder God and Hong knew the importance of the universe language the first time they came into contact with the virtual universe. Naturally, they began to learn it. With their brain expansiveness, learning was indeed very fast. Even though they weren't proficient, communicating wasn't a problem. Speaking of which, it was really tragic this time. Herua shook his head. "Our team had 5 elites and 5 bodyguards. When we were dealing with the single-horned iron rhino horn, we were surrounded by ferocious beasts. One of our bodyguards died. Later, on our way to the Wind and Thunder Canyon, we were ambushed 6 times in a row by other squad. In the process, we lost another 2 bodyguards and 3 elite companions." Herua's expression was bitter. "Now, our squad only has 2 elites and 2 bodyguards left." Luo Feng felt his heart go cold as he heard. My God! Even though his team had experienced over 10 life and death situations, most of them were from the ferocious beasts. As for the ambushes, with Ao Gu and the hybrid copper essence shard, it was really a clean sweep. Plus with Babata's vigilance, Luo Feng's team's journey was tough. There were people injured, but no one died. However, Herua's team actually lost more than half of them. "Where's Bulemu?" Thunder God asked. "In the other teams." "He's dead." Herua shook his head. Luo Feng was stunned. That rough-looking black bear-like youth was dead? Luo Feng could still clearly remember the scene of him, Hong and Thunder God wishing them safe return. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye? Bulemu was already dead. How could this happen? There's no use in being sad. Herua shook his head and laughed bitterly. Many of the brothers and sisters that I've lived with for so many years have died. This is the first test for us elites. Only after going through life and death situations and finally breaking through to the universe level can we be called strong and become important members of the organization. Selection. The bald green-marked youth beside shook his head. This is the selection. Large amounts of so-called geniuses and elites, after going through life and death situations, are eliminated and die. Only at the very end do a few universe levels emerge. Our training camp has over 10,000 geniuses and elites, but if 10 of them can become universe levels, that's already not bad. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Cruel, very cruel. These are the rules of the universe organizations. They take in large amounts of geniuses and elites, give them the best education, provide them with the best conditions, and then give them the cruelest elimination rules, finally giving birth to a few strong warriors. It can be said, those who participate in the universe-level mercenary trainee exam aren't even considered strong. They're all just trainees after going through 1 in 1,000. No, that's the probability of the big organization's elites. Precisely speaking, after going through 1 in 10 million chance, maybe a universe level will emerge. Rumble. The entire world of Thunder suddenly shook violently, without any warning whatsoever. All the teams were shocked. What's going on? Is this world about to collapse? My God! The entire Valley of Wind and Thunder spanned over 1,000 km. The tens of thousands of star-level explorers who came to take the exam all looked up in shock at their surroundings, at the world. And Luo Feng's team and Herua's team naturally looked up in shock at their surroundings. The entire world was shaking, even the mountains were shaking. What's going on? Luo Feng looked around. Over there! Someone shouted. Tens of thousands of stellar-level adventurers, as long as they were on the mountain range, saw the mountain range not far away crack open, and a pitch-black hole that seemed to have been torn open appeared. This black hole was half on the mountain range, and the other half was in the mountain range. The surrounding space was torn open, and it was extremely strange. P.S. 3 chapters completed. I'm lagging behind in the monthly votes. I hope everyone supports me. There's also the golden keyboard voting. You can vote on the book's introduction page. I hope everyone supports me. Thank you. Chapter 338. Look, what's that? Thunder God stared wide-eyed, pointing at the distant pitch-black hole. A black hole that tore open the world of thunder? Beside him, Hurrah from the North Dragon City team creased his eyebrows too. Luo Feng was staring at the black hole pondering. This black hole wasn't a normal cave, but a mysterious existence that tore open space. Babata, just what is this black hole? It should be an entrance to a world. Right, an entrance to a world. Babata's excited voice resounded. Entrance to a world? Luo Feng held his alloy blade, feeling suspicious. And at this time, the tens of thousands of explorers on the mountain range were all looking at the black hole. Suddenly a voice resounded. A world within a world. This could very well be the entrance to a world within a world. Right, a world within a world. It's a world within a world. Quickly, large amounts of star-level youths, from the various families and powers of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, or even youths from different planets, all with different looks, however at this time they were all extremely excited, all becoming beams of light, over 10,000 beams of light swiftly flying towards the distant black hole. It's a world within a world. Hurrah too was extremely excited. A world within a world? Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were all suspicious. At this time it was time to display their knowledge. The explorers from the various families and planets all had some understanding of many things and legend. However, Luo Feng and the other two hadn't been in contact with the virtual universe network for long. They didn't know much. Quickly rush, don't let them get ahead of us, Hurrah shouted, his team swiftly rushing into the distance. Even though Luo Feng was suspicious, his team followed the large amounts of people and swiftly rushed over. Luo Feng, don't rush. Babata's voice resounded. A few minutes late is fine. Babata, what's a world within a world? Luo Feng asked. A sector lord can create a world, you should know that. And within this world, he can create another world and hide it within this world. This world within this world is called a world within a world. Babata explained, however, to create another world within this world. First, we need the world within a world to be stable enough. That requires large amounts of universe crystals as the foundation. Luo Feng understood. The world of thunder was hidden within a villa on Songlan Star. And this world within a world was hidden in a secret place within the world of thunder. Creating a world within a world costs a lot. That's why they usually build a world within a world at all costs to hide treasures. Babata said. The black hole that appeared beside the Wind and Thunder Canyon attracted a large number of adventurers. Within the crowd, there was a small team dressed entirely in black, 9-star level 9s and 1-star level 2. It was the 9th Prince's team that killed the horned iron rhinos. Your Highness, a bodyguard greeted respectfully. Interesting, very interesting. The white-skinned youth wielded a blade, looking at the black hole and smiling. A world within a world? The cost of building a world was already high enough. He wanted to build another world within this world. The difficulty was 10 times higher. For a sector lord to be willing to pay such a huge price to create a world within a world, there must be a true treasure hidden within. This world of thunder has long been excavated. After which, it was used by the Universe Mercenary Alliance as a testing world. After so long, countless people have come here, but no one has found a world within a world. That team actually accidentally opened the entrance to the world within a world. The young man revealed a smile. Luck. That's luck. Your Majesty's luck has always been good. The black-clothed bodyguard beside said respectfully. No, this world within a world is too big of a piece of meat. The youth shook his head. To be able to make a sector lord pay a huge price to create a world within a world to hide, it's definitely a treasure that even a sector lord would be jealous of. The news of the world within a world would swiftly spread to the 4 big organizations, the absolute warriors of our empire, the domain lords, and even the sector lords would rush over. Hence, this group of star-level explorers wouldn't be able to get any true treasures. The youth said disdainfully. Your Majesty, if you were able to get any treasures, that group of warriors wouldn't come to steal from you. The black-clothed bodyguard said. The youth smiled. Woo, the team at the very front, the robots they sent in have come out again. The entrance to the world within a world isn't dangerous. Let's go, we'll enter. The youth ordered, the 9 bodyguards under him acknowledged. Quickly! The entrance to the world within a world isn't dangerous, we can enter. Brothers from the 100 Tiger Building, quickly follow. The star-level explorers were all going crazy. Luo Feng's team and Herua's team swiftly entered the black hole amidst the crowd. This is the world within a world? Luo Feng looked at his surroundings. It was currently night time within the world within a world. Within the darkness there were faint threads of light floating about. One couldn't see very far with the naked eye. Brother Luo Feng, wait a moment, I'll report the news to the organization. Herua said. Report to the organization? Luo Feng looked at Herua. Hong and Thunder God were shocked too. Encountering such a huge matter, if we don't report it in the future, we'll be in deep trouble. Herua shook his head. Beside him another comrade had already closed his eyes, his consciousness connected to the virtual universe. Following which Herua closed his eyes too. As for the 2 bodyguards, they stood by the side, silently guarding them. Luo Feng sighed within as he saw the situation. This organization's influence on their disciples was simply too exaggerated. Looks like the 4 big organizations within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire would quickly get wind of this news. The Black Dragon Mountain star field encompassed over 8,000 galaxies, with trillions of life planets. The roots of the 4 big organizations spread throughout many galaxies, and among them, in terms of position and power, the Black Cloud Guild, North Dragon City, 100 Tiger Building and 3 Axe Mountain. The undisputed number 1 amongst the 4 was the 3 Axe Mountain. The 3 Axe Mountain was different from the other 3 big organizations. The other 3 organizations trained their elites etc., and the 3 Axe Mountain didn't even accept star levels. To join the 3 Axe Mountain, the lowest one had to be a universe level. Within the 3 Axe Mountain in terms of position, the universe levels were called soldiers, the domain lords were called commanders, and the sector lords were called generals. It was said the 3 founders of the 3 Axe Mountain had the highest title of generals. These 3 founders, 2 of them had already become undying, the last one had reached the pinnacle of sector lords hundreds of thousands of years ago, invincible amongst the sector lords, after which there was no news of him. No one knew if he broke through to the undying level, or if he died. You're talking about Song Lan Star's World of Thunder? A man dressed in a dark red battle uniform, draped in a peculiar black cape, looked at the silver-haired old man draped in a white cape. Yes, General, the old man said respectfully. You may leave. The general ordered. Yes. The old man's silhouette flashed and disappeared. The eyes of the man in the crimson battle uniform were faintly flashing with lightning. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, and his fingers lightly moved. The surrounding space began to ripple, and even cracks in space would occasionally appear. General said in a low voice, the world of thunder was created by Realm Lord Kabu back then. No wonder Kabu's hidden treasures couldn't be found. So he even created a world within a world. The Universe Mercenary Alliance was very interesting too, obtaining this world of thunder early on, excavating it for so long, all the treasures were gone. Only then did they transport large amounts of ferocious beasts in, creating a test world. Who would have thought this test world still had a world within a world? Interesting. Kaboo, he's been dead for tens of thousands of years, yet he's never stopped worrying. The general's eyes gleamed, almost as though he could pierce through space. That space technique he obtained back then, who knows, it might be left in that world within a world. The world of thunder, back then the world of thunder Sector Lord Kaboo created, there's still a world within a world? Sector Lord Kaboo created this world within a world. The treasures he hid definitely weren't ordinary. Luckily, Songlan's star is close to me. Haha. Quick, 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 get on the ship. We're leaving for Songlan's star immediately. In a base, large amounts of Star Level 9 warriors swiftly rushed into the ship, following which 2 domain lords also flew in, following which the ship took off. This day, the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire was in an uproar because of this news. Even though the Black Dragon Mountain Empire controlled over 8,000 galaxies, a Sector Lord was already considered the pinnacle of power in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. For example, the 16 big families, it was all because they had a Sector Lord that they had such a position. The creator of the world of thunder, Sector Lord Kaboo, was a pinnacle Sector Lord warrior back then. He created a world within a world. What treasures would there be? The entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire, even the royal family sent people over. The 4 big organizations all sent their experts over. In the eyes of the large powers, even though those star-level explorers were the ones who discovered the world within a world, the ones who could truly obtain the treasures of the world within a world, were undoubtedly them. Star levels? Just cannon fodder. A fiery red planet, the planet's diameter was 8,600 kilometers, the planet's surface was covered in fiery red sand. This was a planet of sand and rocks, without any signs of life. The planet's surface temperature could reach a maximum of over 3,000 degrees. It was a normal planet unsuitable for humans to live on. It could be seen everywhere in the universe. On this planet, a fiery red tall mountain. The wind blew past, the tall mountain was deathly silent. Rumble. Very suddenly, the entire tall mountain fiercely exploded, trillions of mountain rocks flew in all directions, a purple flame rushed into the sky. Enveloped in the purple flame, wearing an armor, eyes blazing with flames, a bald brute floated in the air. On his forehead was a strange flame imprint. Sector Lord Kaboo actually left behind a world within a world? No wonder I haven't heard any news of that spatial technique Inheritance Crystal Ball in so many years. That Inheritance Crystal Ball could very well be in a world within a world. That's a complete inheritance, haha, it's mine. Rumble. In front of him appeared a huge silver pyramid. It was almost exactly the same as the automaton race's pyramid ship back on Earth, just that it was a little smaller. Below this silver pyramid automatically opened up an entrance pathway. The pathway was filled with colorful lights. It was incomparably beautiful. So, enveloped in the purple flame, the godlike bald brute's figure flashed and entered the ship, after which the silver pyramid ship swiftly broke through space and left this deathly silent planet, rapidly accelerating, entering the universe, starting to rush towards Songlan's star. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 339. Within the world within a world. Who? Tens of thousands of stellar-level adventurers came in from the black hole. They formed small teams and quickly flew in all directions. Third brother, where are we going? Hong looked at Luofeng. We can't waste time. Thunder God was also very anxious. Luofeng looked around. At this time, Heruo, who had connected to the virtual universe network to report the news, opened his eyes, looking apologetically at Luofeng and the others. Luofeng, Hong, Thunder God, my apologies, I have to follow the organization's orders to meet up. After which, their team swiftly flew away. Follow me. Luofeng rose into the air. Hong, Thunder God, Tai Nanha, and Ao Gu followed behind, the five-man team flying close to the ground. Before, there were tens of thousands of explorers densely packed together. However, after flying for a few minutes, Luo Feng's team couldn't see anyone else anymore. This world within a world was simply too huge. Tens of thousands of people entering was like a drop of water falling into the ocean. Third brother, we're just flying like this? Hong looked at Luo Feng. That's the only way. Luo Feng explained, a world within a world is a world. Who knew where the treasure was hidden? Therefore, he could only wander aimlessly like searching for a needle in a haystack. Fortunately, we can detect within a 20-kilometer radius. As long as there are any treasures within this range, we will definitely be able to discover them immediately. Luo Feng was very clear, with the vastness of the world within a world, this was his best method. Stick close to the ground, then let Babata search within 20 kilometers. If there is a treasure, immediately inform me. Big brother, second brother. Luo Feng smiled. Before Hurl went to gather with the North Dragon City people, you should have noticed something, right? Thunder God nodded. The major powers have arranged for their forces to join forces. A world within a world for treasures. Numbers were important, and the 4 great organizations and the 16 great families all had a lot of manpower in the world within a world. Once they gathered, they could form teams of hundreds of people. And for someone like Luo Feng who has no background, if he were to compete with a team of a few hundred people, he would be looking for death. Hence, we'll stay low profile for now. Luo Feng smiled. If we can find treasures, we'll find them. If we can't, we'll dig for universe crystals. Every world had its own universe crystals. In undeveloped worlds, there were even more universe crystals. This was the hard currency of the universe. Within the world within a world, there were no ferocious beasts, but a quiet world. So quiet. Luo Feng exclaimed. It's normal to be quiet. The ferocious beasts within the world of thunder are all specially transported over by the Universe Mercenary Alliance for the sake of selecting the trainee mercenaries. Thunder God muttered, actually, without any dire beasts, it's really boring to fly. Stop. A voice suddenly resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Stop. Luo Feng immediately used his spirit energy to communicate, roaring, his voice exploding in the ears of the other 4. Damn. Thunder God couldn't help but cover his ears, staring. Luo Feng, lower your voice. Luo Feng couldn't be bothered with his second brother's nonsense, his consciousness swiftly communicating with Babata, following which he looked around and roared. Everyone be careful, we'll find a place and start drilling. Burrow into the ground? Hong and Thunder God were stunned. There are universe crystals 3200 m underground. Luo Feng said softly. Universe crystals? F***CK universe crystals. Thunder God's eyes widened. This land is made of mud, 1900 m down should be made of rock. However, the rocks here shouldn't be too hard, unlike the rocks in the Valley of Wind and Thunder, which have been tempered by the fierce winds and thunder for a long period of time. We should be able to dig through in a day. Luo Feng said softly. Universe crystals, that was wealth. And it was an absolute hard currency, much more valuable than the Ganwu dollars. And right now Luo Feng was lacking money. Accurately speaking, the moment the golden horned beast breaks through to the universe level, Luo Feng would be extremely short on money. The first account his teacher left him was 10 billion Ganwu dollars. Luo Feng was currently left with less than 5 billion Ganwu dollars. However, the moment the golden horned beast breaks through, from the universe level 1 to the domain lord level 1, it would require 1,000 years. To evolve even faster, he would need to purchase many precious metals to form combinations. The metals required for the universe level were much more expensive than the star level, and the amount required was huge. This resulted in Luo Feng's 5 billion Ganwu dollars, even if he used the best metal combinations, wouldn't even be enough for the universe-level golden horned beast for a month. Of course, if he swallowed normal alloy remains etc., it would be cheaper, but the evolution speed would be slower. Luo Feng couldn't afford to waste time. The Newland Shan family's troops wouldn't take long before they reached Earth. Hence, he had to use the fastest speed to acquire enough money to allow the golden horned beast to evolve as fast as possible. Chi-Chi, Aogu used the hybrid copper essence shard to quickly dig into the ground. Luo Feng followed closely behind. Hong and Thunder God followed too. Tai Nan he was in charge of covering the surface, preventing the other star-level explorers from discovering them. That 900 m deep layer of soil only took half an hour to dig through. However, the rock layer below, the speed was greatly reduced. Too slow. Luo Feng was getting anxious. Looks like it'll really take a day. Luo Feng used the cloud contact vine to hold the shard and dig deeper. Maybe that'll be faster. Hong said. Right. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Digging a tunnel for a person to move through underground was difficult, but to use a vine to penetrate it, that was much easier. Aogu, step back. Luo Feng said. Yes. Aogu moved to the side. Luo Feng dug to the very bottom, with a thought. The cloud contact armor that stuck to his skin immediately extended a vine. Simultaneously, the wrist guard on his wrist swiftly wrapped around the vine, and the wrist guard shrunk. This wrist guard was where Babata stayed. It was also Babata's storage space. This long vine was slender yet sturdy. There was even a leaf at the top. The leaf wrapped around the hybrid copper essence shard, swiftly extending downwards. The hybrid copper essence shard dug into the ground. The slender vine continuously extended downwards. It was simply too fast. Back on Earth, the Star Traveler level 5 or 6 cloud contact vine, its length was already shocking. The current Star level 4 cloud contact vine could easily extend up to 10,000 m. Hence, after about 20 minutes or so, with the hybrid copper essence shard as the tip of the vine, it had already reached 200 m underground. 200 m underground. A huge dark blue, almost like the color of the starry sky, within the rocks, a vine wrapped around the hybrid copper essence shard, extended over 1000 m, finally reaching here. On the vine, there was even a bracelet. Waha! Keep it for me! Babata shouted proudly. The huge dark blue crystal immediately vanished, absorbed into the storage space. Within the storage space. This was an incomparably huge storage space. Even the Yun Mo planet ship stopped beside. The huge dark blue crystal appeared in mid-air. A metal robot immediately flew over. The robot's red eyes gleamed. A voice came from its mouth. Luo Feng, that idiot. He actually followed the rules of Earth's fighter teams to split the spoils. This universe crystal lord was his, and he was even prepared to give 40% to Hong and Thunder God. What an idiot! This universe crystal is quite big, about 9,000 cubic meters. Cut it! Immediately, a few little robots appeared. They swiftly began to break down this huge universe crystal. The universe crystal's energy was shocking. However, breaking it down wasn't hard. In the universe, it was usually broken down into coin shape. The universe's standard was that 1 cubic meter of universe crystal would be broken down into 1,000 universe dollars. Underground. Luo Feng's cloud contact armor extended vines swiftly retracted. Simultaneously, the bracelet flew back into Luo Feng's wrist, entering it. Babata, how many universe crystals did we get? Luo Feng asked within. Haha, our luck isn't bad. A world's scattered universe crystals are usually lesser, only the central regions have more. I didn't expect you to actually get 3,000 cubic meters of universe crystals this time. Your luck isn't bad. Babata's voice resounded within Luo Feng's consciousness. Luo Feng nodded as he heard. Big brother, second brother, let's go up. Luo Feng said. The 5 swiftly flew towards the surface, very quickly breaking through. How was it? Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. How many universe crystals did we get? Hong asked. Our luck wasn't bad. Luo Feng looked around. It was pitch black and silent, only the vast land could be vaguely seen. These scattered universe crystals in the world within a world, there wouldn't be many. We got 3,000 cubic meters this time. It's quite a lot. 3,000 cubic meters? Thunder God's eyes gleamed. 3,000 cubic meters is equivalent to 3 million universe dollars. One universe dollar, it seems like right now, can be exchanged for over 3,000 Ganwu dollars, meaning about 10 billion Ganwu dollars. 10 billion Ganwu dollars? Hong too felt that this number was huge. The first time my second brother and I went to the killing fields, we heard a universe-level warrior talking about discovering a new world. I heard he got 10,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. For us to get 3,000 cubic meters in one go, that's not bad. Hong exclaimed. Indeed, a sector lord's world. The first transaction is already so much. Luo Feng couldn't help but exclaim, in the legends of the universe explorers, discovering a new world is a huge fortune. However, the first time a new world is discovered, it's usually snatched by the universe levels and even the domain lord. Let's not waste any more time, Luo Feng said. Let's continue. The first transaction was 3,000 cubic meters. It was comparable to the wealth his teacher left him in his first account. This made Luo Feng even more excited. The sector lord's world was indeed a huge treasure trove. Even the most unassuming universe crystals were huge fortunes. However, the moment the golden horned beast reaches the universe level, the amount of money needed is shocking. This is far from enough. Let's continue. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. At this time, Luo Feng didn't even know the universe crystals he got this time were actually 9,000 cubic meters. It was just that some evil Babata purposely hid 6,000 cubic meters. Maybe the other teams, some had energy sensors. However, those devices, how many of them could match up to Babata's scanning? Under Babata's guidance, Luo Feng quickly discovered a second underground location with universe crystals. Who knows, relying on this sector lord's world, I might actually be able to get all the money the golden horned beast needs to reach the universe level. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, controlling the vines and bracelet to drill into the ground. Drill. P.S. The second chapter has arrived. Tomato will continue writing the third chapter. Everyone, please vote for me. Recently my popularity has been low. At this time, I hope everyone can support Tomato. Chapter 340. The central area of the world within a world, universe crystals are the most abundant. However, the adventurers weren't stupid. The 2 sacred lands, the 4 major organizations, the 16 great families, as well as the low-level countries of the universe, and the adventurers of the various planets, were all fighting for the central region. The competition there was the most intense. Moreover, the hardness of the rocks there was very high, just like the Wind and Thunder Canyon in the world of Thunder. It would be very difficult to excavate it. We might as well do a large search around the world within a world. Scattered cosmos crystals, when gathered together, it's still quite astonishing. Babata persuaded. Luo Feng listened, simultaneously controlling the cloud contact vine to drill into the ground. After more than 3 hours, this was the 3rd place with universe crystals that they had found. I've really struck it rich. Luo Feng was secretly happy. The first place was 3,000 cubes. The second location was slightly less, only 2,000 cubic meters. The third area, according to Babata's scan, it was 4,000 cubic meters. Chi-Chi, the cloud contact vine quickly retracted. Babata, how many? 4,000 cubic meters? Asked Luo Feng. 4,000, Babata answered. Luo Feng looked up at Hong and Thunder God. 4,000 cubic meters. Haha. Both Hong and Thunder God were delighted. Even though Luo Feng had helped them a lot, whether it was Hong, Thunder God, or Luo Feng, they were all very clear about the benefits of adventuring in the universe. If they didn't explain it clearly from the start, it would easily cause some conflicts in the future. This kind of thing was too common on Earth. Therefore, the three of them had already come to an agreement. If the three of them worked together, it would be 1/3 for each of them. If one person exerted the most strength while the other two assisted, the person who exerted the most strength would get 60%, while the other two would each get 20%. If only one person used his full strength and the other two didn't make a move, then it would be a different story. The person who put in the most effort would get 80%, while the other two would get 10%. Right now we have a total of 9,000 cubic meters of universe crystal. Luo Feng was elated. Keep looking, Hong said worriedly. I'm afraid we don't have much time left. Once the people from the major organizations arrive, we won't be able to get any benefit. Okay. Luo Feng nodded, his expression serious. Those family descendants and the youngsters of the organization must have reported it to the organization. Very quickly, universe-level warriors and even domain lords. So much so that the peak martial power of the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire, the Sector Lord existence, might even come. By then, how would there be a chance for a star-state cannon fodder like him to intervene? A newly discovered world would make people go crazy, and many experts would die. Not to mention a newly discovered world within a world. A world within a world, compared to normal worlds, it attracted many strong warriors. Let's not waste any more time, Luo Feng said softly. Let's continue searching for the next location. In the world within a world that was digging for treasures. The other teams may not be able to catch up to Luo Feng's group, however, even if they manage to acquire 100 cubic meters of universe crystals. To normal star-level explorers, that was an astronomical amount of wealth. Hence, all the star-state adventurers started digging like crazy. Unless he went to the central area and fought with tens of thousands of adventurers. Otherwise, in terms of digging efficiency, they really wouldn't be able to catch up to Luo Feng's squad. There was no other way. Babata's surveillance equipment was brought along on the Yun Mo planet ship. Ordinary sector lords didn't have such advanced equipment. A triangular charcoal black spaceship traveled through the universe and arrived at a space not far from Songlan's star. Two men dressed in silver-white capes stood shoulder to shoulder. On their chests hung 2-star mercenary badges. Brother Mingyu, this time us two brothers should be able to get some treasures. That Thunder Sector Lord was extremely famous back then. It's said that he had many treasures on him. When he died, he self-destructed. No one reaped any benefits, said a handsome man with long purple hair and a silvery white cloak. His eyes were as sharp as swords. Brother Donglai, you and I are pretty close to Songlan's star. We rushed over at the first moment. Getting some treasures is very normal. A tall and sturdy man with green and black hair said. These two could be said to be two extremes. One was purple-haired and handsome, the other was tall and sturdy, almost like he was made of steel. These two were the famous warriors of the Three-Axe Mountain, Mingyu and Xiao Donglai. They were both top-notch fighters within the Domain Lord level. Of course, these two were also external members of the Virtual Universe Company's Warriors Department. The Virtual Universe Company's Warriors Department allowed many members to be in other smaller organizations. Compared to the Virtual Universe Company, even the Ganwu Empire didn't pose much of a threat, much less the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's Three-Axe Mountain organization. Those star-level explorers, even though they were the first to discover the world within a world. However, the treasures within the world within a world aren't something small punks like them can take. For them to get some universe crystals is already considered a huge gain. They should be satisfied. The purple-haired man Xiao Donglai smiled. When we were at the star level, we didn't get any universe crystals. Mingyu exclaimed. The two domain lords naturally thought. Star-level explorers didn't even have the right to touch the treasures within the world within a world. Do you want to go to the planet's docking bay? Xiao Donglai asked. No need. Mingyu shook his head. I have property on Songlan's star. The ship can just fly in. it wouldn't be considered a provocation to the leader of the planet. This universe ship entered the interior of Tsanglan star. Very quickly, it stopped in the air above the Universe Mercenary Alliance base. One handsome, one tall and sturdy, both wearing silver-white capes that represented their status. The two flew down. Ming-Yu, Dong Lai. Immediately a green-skinned man dressed in armor flew over. Emole, what's going on? Ming-Yu and Xiao Dong Lai, the two domain lords, flew over. The green-skinned man's eyes seemed to have another pair of pupils. He pointed unhappily at the villa not far away. Look, that entrance to the world of thunder is being blocked by the Universe Mercenary Alliance, not letting anyone in. What's going on? Ming-Yu and Xiao Dong Lai were shocked. Right now the various powers of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had sent their experts over. At this time, could it be that the person in charge of the Universe Mercenary Alliance base on Tsanglan Star would dare to block them? Let's go over, Ming-Yu said. Immediately the three domain lords walked over. At the villa's entrance stood 12 universe-level warriors, each of them either cold, tyrannical, laughing, or gloomy. All in all, each of them had their own unique traits. The villa's guards didn't dare block them. However, at the villa's entrance stood a lady with short silver hair, dressed in a bright silver battle uniform. Lord Ming-Yu. Lord Dong Lai. Immediately many of the universe-level warriors bowed. Ming-Yu and Xiao Dong Lai nodded. Looking at the lady, Ming-Yu said softly, "A world within a world has appeared in the world of thunder. It's no longer suitable to be an examination world. Since it's no longer suitable, then it should be a world that every mercenary has the right to enter. Why are you blocking the way?" "Who are you?" the lady with short silver hair shouted. Ming-Yu, the leader of the Three-Axe Mountain. Ming-Yu. The tall and sturdy Ming-Yu stared at the lady. "Listen well, I'm Rania." The lady with short silver hair emitted a cold aura, as though she was the ruler of the surrounding area, a god. Rania? Ming-Yu and Xiao Dong Lai creased their eyebrows. There were very few sector lords in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, and there weren't many domain lords either. As long as they had a bit of fame, they would recognize them. However, they had never heard of a female region lord called Rania. The world of thunder is an examination world. It's an examination world recognized by our Universe Mercenary Alliance, unless the Alliance revokes its status as an examination world. Otherwise, it will remain an examination world. As an examination world used to select trainee mercenaries, only star-level explorers have the right to enter. Mercenaries, you are forbidden from entering, the silver-haired lady shouted. Ming-Yu, Xiao Dong Lai and Emole, the three domain lords, were furious. Rules? Sometimes there were rules to be followed, but sometimes there was no need to. Rania, what's your status in the Universe Mercenary Alliance? Daring to block 3 Universe 2-star mercenaries? Ming-Yu shouted. 8 hours later. The sky was already dark. At the entrance to the world of thunder, outside that villa, the number of domain lords had already reached 6, and the number of universe levels had reached 21. But when faced with this silver-haired woman, Rania, no one could enter. Rumble! The land and skies trembled slightly. Large amounts of people in the Universe Mercenary Alliance base looked up, only to see a silver-white pyramid appear in the air. Immediately Ming-Yu and the others were shocked. Automaton ship? In the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, the number of warriors with automaton ships were few and far between, and the ship before them seemed to be rather high level. The silver-white pyramid suddenly disappeared. An incomparably sturdy bald man suddenly appeared, his eyes burning with flames. There was even a flame mark on his forehead, his gaze sweeping downwards, immediately causing all the domain lords below to feel their souls tremble. They couldn't help but lower their heads. The universe-level warriors had long since bowed respectfully in respect. Lord and Mengzi. The domain lords and universe levels all bowed respectfully. And Mengzi, known as the Flame Sector Lord, within the Sector Lords of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, he was definitely a pinnacle warrior. His use of flames had already reached an inconceivable level. The burning of the flames was enough to cause space to collapse. Move aside. Anmengzi's gaze swept towards the silver-haired lady. The silver-haired lady looked at Anmengzi, her gaze stopping at the flame imprint between his eyebrows, revealing a strange smile. Anmengzi? You've already reached the recognition of the universe origin laws? Indeed, a sector lord pinnacle warrior. However, this is a test world recognized by the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Only star-level explorers participating in the test can enter, no mercenaries are allowed in. I told you to move aside. Anmengzi's voice was thick, giving off a feeling that made one's soul tremble. 1. The silver-haired lady's body suddenly emitted a silver-white glow. Impudent! The silver-haired lady roared, pointing angrily at the absolute warrior in front of her. Anmengzi, you actually dare to challenge the Universe Mercenary Alliance's rules? The test world, only star-level explorers can enter. If you want to die, go ahead and enter. I dare guarantee that if you enter now, after the matter is over, our Universe Mercenary Alliance's law enforcement team will definitely kill you, causing your soul to dissipate into nothingness, leaving nothing behind. And the others, listen carefully. The silver-haired lady retreated to one side, pointing at the villa. If you want to die, go ahead and enter. At that moment, the 6 domain lords, the 21 universe-level warriors were all silent. Even the flame sector lord Anmengzi was deep in thought as he looked at the silver-haired lady before him, not daring to barge in. Time passed day by day. The number of warriors on Tsanglan's star grew more and more. However, not a single warrior was able to enter the world of thunder. Almost as though the words "if you want to die, go ahead and enter" had a shocking amount of power. And within the world within a world, the star-level cannon fodder were all in a frenzy of excitement. Luo Feng and the others were also diligently grasping every bit of time they had. Chapter 341. In the vast sky, a huge ball of light floated high up in the sky, illuminating the entire world within a world. Rumble, the waterfall that was over 100 meters tall, crashed down, landing in the deep pool below. The pool water was still emitting waves of cold air. However, suddenly 5 silhouettes broke through the water, landing on the shore beside the pool. Under the light, their alloy armors reflected a cold light. These 5 people were Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He and Aogu. We've finally gotten something big. Thunder God sighed, I've been worried to death these past few days. The universe crystals scattered all over this world within a world are scattered and without any pattern. Sometimes we'll consecutively find a few universe crystal locations, sometimes we won't even find one for a period of time. This is very normal. Luo Feng's gaze swept across the surroundings. The surrounding forest was silent, there were no other living beings. Third brother, how many universe crystals have we gotten so far? Hong asked. 3 days added up, 31,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. Luo Feng revealed a smile. This was a number worth being excited about. Ever since they entered the world within a world, their group had been searching the surrounding areas of the world within a world. However, this world within a world was simply too huge, with a length and width of close to 1,000,000 kilometers. Such a huge world, to truly search it all, they would have to run back and forth tens of thousands of times. No. Even if they ran back and forth tens of thousands of times, they would only be able to search the entire surface of the world within a world at a depth of 20 kilometers. The depth of this world within a world was over 20 kilometers. Just searching 20 kilometers of the surface once would require thousands of years. It was because it was too huge that searching really depended on luck. In the first 10 hours of the first day, their group consecutively found 6 locations of universe crystals, a total of 15,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. However, until noon of the second day, after about 20 hours, they only found 1 location, and it was only 300 cubic meters of universe crystals. From noon of the second day until now, their luck only improved a little. Consecutively finding 5 locations, especially the one in the deep pool, it had 6,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. 3 days added up, a total of 31,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. 31,000 cubic meters of universe crystals, that's 31 million universe dollars, worth close to 100 billion Ganwu dollars. Back then, my teacher only left me 10 billion Ganwu dollars. Unearthing a new world is really profitable. Luo Feng was filled with joy. His group had left Earth and arrived in the vast universe. This was his first time taking the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam, and he had already encountered such a good thing. Luo Feng, in theory, there should be universe warriors entering the world within a world to chase us away. Hong creased his eyebrows. How come until now there's no news at all? It is quite strange. Luo Feng shook his head. Even though the world of thunder is huge, from the border to the canyon of wind and thunder, with a universe level's power, without fear of the ferocious beasts, 1 day is enough. It's been 3 days, in the world within a world, we haven't even discovered a single universe level, much less a domain and sector lord. Why are you thinking so much? Since they didn't come in, let's continue digging for universe crystals. If we miss this opportunity, we won't get another one. Thunder God urged. Haha, that makes sense. Hong was also looking forward to it. In the universe, even planets could be bought and sold. Even the Muya crystals used to feed the cloud contact vine could be bought and sold without restraint. Anyway, as long as one had enough wealth, even a universe-level slave could be bought. As a group of 3 that entered the universe from Earth, Hong, Thunder God and Luo Feng naturally had to madly dig for universe crystals. With enough wealth, Earth would be able to develop better with the help of the 3 of them. They were the pioneers of Earth's humanity. Let's go. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, filled with desire. Haha, let's go. Thunder God and Hong were the same. The 5 of them became 5 beams of light. Under the search equipment, they continued the process of searching and digging in the world within a world. Song Lan's star. At the entrance to the world of thunder, within the garden of that historical villa, a bald, muscular man stood there like a mountain range with his eyes closed. However, the flame imprint between his eyebrows gave off a feeling that made people's hearts tremble, causing them to involuntarily submit to him. Looking at the flame imprint, it was like an ant looking at a tall mountain. He stood there, the space around him trembled slightly, occasionally a flame would burst forth from his body. In front of him stood the silver-haired Lady Rania. As for the other domain lords and universe levels, they were all outside the villa garden. Within the garden, there was only Enmengzi and Rania. Enmengzi, why haven't you entered? A booming voice resounded throughout the garden. Dressed in dark blue armor, wearing a helmet, a man even more sturdy than Enmengzi, suddenly appeared like a god. He stepped in the air, every step causing the land and land around him to tremble. When he landed in the garden, the entire garden immediately disappeared. The surroundings became a vast land, beside it was even a tall mountain. While chatting, he changed the land and land, controlling the land and land. Who are you? You're the one who stopped Enmengzi. The tall and sturdy man looked at the silver-haired lady, his eyes shining brilliantly, as though the sun was illuminating the entire land and land. Rania, Universe Mercenary Alliance Ganwu Department's envoy Rania. The silver-haired lady looked at him. You should be the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's sacred land Black Dragon Mountain Sector, Lord Ba Si Ha. Envoy? The tall and sturdy man looked at the silver-haired lady in front of him, looking suspiciously at Enmengzi. A voice resounded in Enmengzi's mind. Enmengzi, who is she? She seems to have some sort of background, to actually be able to call out my name. Just what is her identity? I don't know. Enmengzi said indifferently. If you don't know, why would you stop because of a domain lord blocking your way? Ba Si Ha creased his eyebrows. I don't know who she is, but I know that behind her is an undying. Unmengzi said. Undying? Towering waves rose in Ba Si Ha's heart, but on the surface, he was like a rock, appearing very calm. After that, Ba Si Ha's gaze swept towards the girl named Rania. His world energy flowed around the silver-haired girl, and he could faintly sense a fluctuation that made one's heart tremble. Lord Ba Si Ha. The silver-haired lady's eyes were calm. This world of thunder is the Universe Mercenary Alliance's designated examination world, unless the Alliance revokes its status, otherwise, it will remain an examination world. Only star-level explorers participating in the mercenary trainee exams can enter, others cannot. If one were to barge in, it would be a violation of the Alliance's rules. The silver-haired lady looked at Ba Si Ha. Ba Si Ha immediately had a headache. To think that he, Ba Si Ha, had an esteemed position, even within one of the two sacred lands of the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. He had an extremely high position. Even the Emperor of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had to give him face. However, at this moment, facing this silver-haired lady, he had no choice. Want to kill the lady? He could kill her with a flip of his hand. However, firstly, this silver-haired lady's background wasn't small. Secondly, she had made it very clear, barging in was a violation of the Alliance's rules. Who would dare to mess around? Offending the Universe Mercenary Alliance, that was simply courting death. Actually, the rules were the rules, but the people in charge of the Universe Mercenary Alliance turned a blind eye, and the matter passed. Who would go against the rules and offend a group of strong warriors? However, this silver-haired lady's background was obviously not small, and had no fear of offending them. Unmengzi, where did she come from? Ba Si Ha creased his eyebrows, his heart filled with rage. I don't know. Unmengzi communicated in a low voice. One day later, the third sector lord arrived. Dressed in a dark red battle uniform, with a black cape draped over his shoulders, the devilishly handsome man seemed to have teleported. With a flash of lightning in the sky, he appeared in the villa's garden. The devilishly handsome man had a lightning mark on his forehead. When he closed his eyes, there was lightning flickering. Rania, why are you here? The devilishly handsome man stood in the garden, frowning as he looked at Rania. 3-Axe Mountain, Jiang Tianchen. Unmengzi and Ba Si Ha were shocked. In terms of strength, Unmengzi was much stronger than Ba Si Ha. However, compared to Jiang Tianchen, he paled in comparison. Jiang Tianchen was definitely one of the top 5 warriors in the entire Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. Jiang Tianchen was an absolute warrior that represented the 3-Axe Mountain, and he held an important position in the Black Dragon Mountain department of the Virtual Universe Company. I'm representing my teacher to patrol the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, and coincidentally found this matter. Of course I have to interfere. Rania looked at Jiang Tianchen. I'm representing my teacher now. Naturally I forbid anything that goes against the Alliance's rules. The devilishly handsome Jiang Tianchen creased his eyebrows. Pa, pa, pa. Lightning flashed all around. What nonsense! Jiang Tianchen was furious. What nonsense! Rania raged. Jiang Tianchen, these are the rules of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. It's not up to you to interfere. I can't stop you, but I'll record everything that happens and send it to my teacher. Whoever dares to brazenly violate the Alliance's rules, I'll report it to the Alliance and get killed by the law enforcers. Their souls will be shattered and turned into nothingness. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Jiang Tianchen squinted. Unmengzi and Ba Si Ha both admired this lady. Powerful background? But daring to go against Jiang Tianchen, she really had courage. By doing this, you've offended the warriors of the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. Jiang Tianchen frowned as he looked at Rania. Don't use that to scare me. Whoever dares to enter, I'll definitely follow the rules and report it to the Alliance. Rania said coldly. Jiang Tianchen shook his head. Your strength is far from your teacher's, but your temper is quite similar. Unmengzi, Ba Si Ha, I will arrange for our Black Dragon Mountain Starfield's 4 organizations and the 2 Holy Lands to hold a meeting. Jiang Tianchun looked towards Anmengzi and Ba Si-ha. Anmengzi and Ba Si-ha nodded their heads. Jiang Tianchun, what's wrong? Are you going to gather people to suppress me? Rania's aura became even more imposing. She was annoyed. If she wasn't a fierce dragon that didn't cross the river, she was really prepared to shoulder it. You've already taken out the Alliance's rules. Who would dare to fight with you? Jiang Tianchun glanced at her. Don't worry, I will follow the Alliance's rules. I definitely won't send any universe level, domain lord or sector lord in. At the same time, he sent a thread of consciousness into the virtual universe network. Maintaining a clear mind in reality, he sent a sliver of his consciousness into the virtual universe. To a sector lord, it was very easy. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 342. Virtual Universe. The sky was a deep blue, pure and without a single flaw. Clouds surrounded the surroundings, and in this cloudy space, a 10 m diameter huge round stone table floated in midair. The table's surface was covered in scars. Around the floating stone table floated many chairs made of the same material. Shwa, shwa, shwa. One silhouette after another appeared in midair. Amongst them were Jiang Tianchun, Anmengzi and Ba Si-ha. They each chose a chair and sat down. I represent the 3-axe mountain. Jiang Tianchun sat on the chair and said coldly. I represent the ice seagull god country. Dressed in a snow-white robe, a lady with almost transparent long hair smiled. I represent the Black Dragon Mountain. His face was covered in scales, revealing only a pair of blood-red eyes. A 4-meter-tall sector lord said solemnly. 12 silhouettes. They represented the 4 organizations, 2 sacred lands and 16 families, of which the 16 families only sent 1 representative, while the 4 organizations and 2 sacred lands sent a total of 11 sector lords. Then, let the meeting begin. The scaled giant from the Black Dragon Mountain said solemnly. The entrance to the World of Thunder is currently guarded by the Universe Mercenary Alliance Ganwu Department's Special Envoy Rania, forbidding any non-stellar level explorers from entering. Jiang Tianchun's voice resounded in midair. This Rania, what's her identity? A gentle voice resounded from the female sector lord from the ice seagull god country. Her teacher is the Ganwu Universe country's 3rd Army General. Jiang Tianchun said. The 3rd Army General dotes on her a lot. 3rd Army General? The other 11 sector lords were shocked. Right, hence we can't force our way in. Jiang Tianchun's gaze swept past the other sector lords, hence I think there's only one way, to arrange for a large group of Star Level 9 explorers to enter the World of Thunder under the guise of participating in the mercenary trainee exams. Good idea. Jiang Tianchun's words made the rest of the sector lords nod in agreement. If anyone has any other opinions, please speak. Jiang Tianchun said. With Rania blocking the entrance, who would dare to brazenly go against the Alliance's rules? The scaled giant laughed softly. All right, Brother Jiang, we'll do as you say. We'll arrange for a large group of Star Level 9 explorers to enter. How many will each family arrange? How do we determine the number? Momentarily, the 12 world overlords started to discuss amongst themselves. The more people they sent out, the more advantageous it would be for them to fight for the treasures. Actually, it was mainly a dispute between the 4 organizations and the 2 Holy Lands. Each of the 16 families can only send 10,000 Star State adventurers. Each of the 4 organizations can send at most 200,000 Star State adventurers. The 2 sacred grounds can only send 500,000 Star State adventurers each. The outcome of the summit meeting in the Black Dragon Mountain Star Field was quickly decided by the 4 organizations and the 2 Holy Lands. Every organization had sector lords, domain lords and universe levels under them. According to their strength and position, the number of slots they could obtain would naturally differ too. Song Lan Star. As the 2 sacred grounds, 4 organizations, and 16 families jointly sealed the world of thunder, forbidding any other Star State adventurers from entering. Wow, so many people are flying over. It's so dark. How many are there? In the Universe Mercenary Alliance base, a few adventurers stared in shock at the sky, only to see a huge battleship floating in mid-air. At the same time, large amounts of dark gray armored warriors flew downwards, covering the entire sky. In an instant, they all flew one by one towards the entrance to the world of thunder, that villa. What's going on? Rania, dressed in a bright silver armor, shouted. Lord, we are all Star State adventurers. We've all accepted the Universe Mercenary Trainee Exam mission. The leader of the team, a star-level fighter, said respectfully. All here to take the Mercenary Trainee Exam? Rania was shocked, looking at the team in front of her. The queue was so long that it stretched all the way to the sky. How many people were there? However, Rania had conducted a large-scale test. This long line of people were actually all Star State adventurers, and they had all accepted the Mercenary Trainee Exam mission. Within the villa's garden, Anmengzi, Ba Si Ha and Jiang Tianchen watched as the team swiftly entered the world of thunder. Anmengzi, you sure are fast. Ba Si Ha looked at Anmengzi. 10,000 star level 9 warriors, just right. Anmengzi grinned. Everyone, I'll be making a move first. Even Nulan Shan could pull out 10,000 star level 9 warriors, much less sector lords. To them, finding 10,000 star level 9 warriors was as easy as breathing. Just like in Mengzi, just his territory alone had 3 galaxies, not to mention the many who worshipped him. Since then, in the airspace above Song Lan Star, teams after teams arrived. They were all star-level explorers, and almost all star-level 9 warriors. Whether it was a small team of 10 people, or a team of over 1,000, or even a large team of over 10,000, team after team of star-level 9 warriors entered the world of thunder in a single file. Instead, many of the adventurers who had originally planned to take the Mercenary Trainee Exam were all stopped. Song Lan Star Universe Mercenary Alliance Base, within a tavern beside. Ming Yu and Xiao Dong Lai, the 2 domain lords, sat there. In the entire tavern, other than the domain lords, there were only universe levels. Normal adventurers wouldn't even dare enter. At this time, a man dressed in a dark green armor, with pointy ears, walked in, his gaze sweeping the area. He first noticed Ming Yu and Xiao Dong Lai. Lord Ming Yu, Lord Dong Lai. Nulan Shan, you've brought your men here too. Ming Yu and Xiao Dong Lai nodded. The 2 of them were domain lords, however this Nulan Shan in front of them had the Battle Axe Fighter title. Back when they were at the universe level, they didn't even have the title. Hence, towards Nulan Shan, they had a sense of respect. Just a few men. Nulan Shan smiled. They're all outside. Ming Yu and Xiao Dong Lai glanced outside. Outside the window, on the empty ground, a team dressed in battle armor was queuing up. Not a few, there's about 200 of them. Ming Yu praised, universe levels, some only get 50 slots, some only get 100. A team of 200 star level 9 warriors from the Nulan Shan family walked towards the villa, following the order, entering in a single file. These 200 people were handpicked by Nulan Shan from the family and the Nulan Shan guards. They were all star level 9 warriors with high battle abilities. I'm just trying my luck. Nulan Shan smiled. Go ahead. Ming Yu said indifferently. Yes. Nulan Shan bowed and walked to a corner of the tavern, sitting with 2 universe levels he was familiar with. In the entire tavern, there was a group of universe levels and a few domain lords. Everyone was waiting here, waiting for a period of time for the star level 9 explorers from the various organizations to come out. In the tavern, by the window, Ming Yu and Xiao Dong Lai were conversing. There are so many people going in. Xiao Dong Lai exclaimed. 2 sacred lands, 4 organizations, 16 families, adding it up to about 2 million star level explorers. Mingyu exclaimed too. Look, the star-level explorers outside preparing to enter the world of thunder, they've already formed a long queue. The queue has even reached the skies. Yes. Xiao Donglai looked outside through the window. A huge black mass, almost like a black cloud covering the sky. You and I both send 1,000 people in, who knows what we'll get. Xiao Donglai shook his head. Star levels fly slowly, and there are ferocious beasts obstructing them, even if they rely on their numbers and dare to charge in. Flying to the Canyon of Wind and Thunder would probably take 7 to 8 days. Mingyu shook his head. That's why, with the time advantage, the group of people who were already in the world of thunder are the ones with the highest chance of getting the treasures of the world within a world. Xiao Donglai nodded, after which he asked, How many people under you have been in the world of thunder since the beginning? Nobody. You know our 3-axe mountain doesn't nurture young people. Mingyu shook his head, suddenly remembering something, his eyes flashing. Right, I recruited 3 young people back then. I persuaded them to go on an adventure in the universe. From the looks of it, the 3 of them were quite moved. If they wanted to adventure, it's very likely that they would take the mercenary trainee exam. 3 young people? Xiao Donglai was shocked. Right, it was Lord Man Luo who told me to pay attention to 3 people called Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God. Mingyu let out a smile. I'll contact them. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God? Xiao Donglai mumbled. To be noticed by Lord Man Luo? World within a world, it was night time. It was already the 8th day in the world within a world. In the plains, wild grass grew, the ground slightly shook, and with a purring, 5 silhouettes flew out. I haven't rested for 8 days, I'm really tired. Why haven't those universe warriors arrived yet? Thunder God cried out weirdly. You've gotten the best of it and you're still pretending to be innocent. Hong laughed. It's quite tiring, however it's tiring and satisfying. Luo Feng was extremely happy. Thunder God nodded. Right, satisfying? Digging for universe crystals is really satisfying, thinking about Earth's too. 1 billion Ganwu dollars, and we've already dug about 96,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. That's close to 300 billion Ganwu dollars. It can be said that we've dug up over 100 Earths. This comparison is interesting. Luo Feng laughed loudly. 96,000 cubic meters of universe crystals, worth 300 billion Ganwu dollars. A very large number. To a universe-level warrior, this was a huge sum of wealth. One had to say, excavating a world was indeed a very satisfying thing. Luo Feng was stunned. What's up? Hong and Thunder God looked at him. Wait a moment, I'll go into the virtual universe network. Luo Feng said, before closing his eyes. Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-Star Bay. Luo Feng appeared out of thin air before his own house. With a glance he saw Su Xian sitting beside, searching for information. Luo Feng? Su Xian stood up excitedly. You haven't been in the virtual universe network these few days. I've been very busy these few days. Time is wealth, time is power. These few days, I can't waste a single minute or second. Luo Feng laughed. These words made Su Xian suspicious. What do you mean? I can't waste a single minute or second these few days. Just where have you been these few days? I'll tell you when I get back. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. A screen appeared before him. There was a communication request. It was a communication request from the Virtual Universe Company's Warriors Department stationed in Black Dragon Mountain, Mingyu. D. Luo Feng answered. Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng smiled at Mingyu. Luo Feng, let me ask you, are you currently in the world within a world in the world of thunder? Chapter 343. A world within a world? Luo Feng looked at the screen, his heart skipping a beat. Many thoughts flashed through his mind. Logically speaking, his participation in the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam wasn't leaked. Very few people knew about it. Although Huron knew about it, he was just a person from Northern Dragon City. He didn't have the qualifications to contact a super expert like Mingyu. Then, how did this domain Lord Mingyu know that he was in the world within a world? Don't be surprised. Back then, when I talked to the three of you, I could tell that you wanted to explore the universe. And with your strength, if you want to adventure in the universe, the first thing you should do is participate in this universe mercenary trainee examination. And the entire Black Dragon Mountain Star Field's examination location is a world of thunder. Mingyu was very straightforward. Luo Feng looked at the tall and sturdy man on the screen. Lord Mingyu, why are you looking for me? This world within a world was created by a very famous sector lord of our Black Dragon Mountain Starfield tens of millions of years ago. His name was Kabu. People call him the Thunder Sector Lord. Mingyu quickly says, while Realm Lord Kabu's luck is very good, and he is considered very wealthy among the Realm Lords. Furthermore, he has quite a few famous treasures that even the Realm Lords covet. Luo Feng's heart moved, asking, then Lord Mingyu, why didn't you enter the world within a world? Hong, Thunder God, and himself had been wondering about this for a long time. It's a long story. When you come out of the world of thunder, you'll know. Mingyu spoke in a low and powerful voice. I'm looking for you because I want to tell you. Although it was said that non-stellar level adventurers were unable to enter the world of thunder. However, the treasures of this world within a world were too alluring. Hence right now the entire Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, all the large organizations and powers have all sent out Star Level 9 armies to enter the world of thunder. What? Luo Feng was shocked. An army formed from Star Level 9 warriors? In the entire Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, there were more than 8,000 galaxies, and the Silver Blue Empire and other vassal states numbered more than 500. Such a huge starfield. To send Star Level 9 warriors, how many would that be? How many in total? Luo Feng asked. All the peak experts of the entire Black Dragon Mountain Starfield will gather, and then hold a Sector Lord conference. Finally, they will agree to send out close to 2 million explorers. Mingyu said in a low voice. Luo Feng was silent. 2 million? As the saying goes, once there are more than 10,000 people, there will be a feeling of a sea of people. Once this army of 2 million was formed, it would be like a sea of people, with no end in sight. They were all Star Level 9 warriors. A million-strong Star Level 9 army, even a Universe-level warrior would be scared and flee upon seeing that. Even ants could bite an elephant to death. To a Universe-level warrior, a Star Level 9 was an ant, but 2 million ants. To kill them all, the energy within his body wouldn't even be enough. There are both large and small adventurer teams. Some are under sector lords, some under domain lords, some under universe levels. Mingyu smiled and encouraged, because they aren't united, you don't have to worry too much. As long as you hide a little, you still have a chance of surviving. Luo Feng couldn't relax. 2 million Star Level 9 warriors. It was enough to make one's scalp go numb. If a Sector Lord were to take out 2 million Star Level 9 warriors, it would be hard, but this time, the entire Black Dragon Mountain Starfield was working together. Naturally it was easy. Spectacular! Luo Feng exclaimed within. Lord Mingyu, why are you looking for me? Luo Feng asked. Of course I'm looking for you for something. Mingyu smiled. Let me tell you, even though there are 2 million Star Level 9 warriors entering. However, on Songlan Star, it's a rare gathering of the strongest in the entire Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. All the powerful warriors have gathered, guarding the entire Songlan Star, forbidding other adventurers from entering the world of thunder. At the same time, the moment someone exits the world of thunder, like you, Luo Feng, as long as it's not our 2 sacred lands, the 4 big organizations, the 16 families, then the consequences, just think about it and you'll understand. Luo Feng's expression changed greatly. This was too much of a bastard. The large organizations of the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield were obviously working together, determined to swallow the fat piece of meat that was the world within a world. As long as it wasn't their power, being threatened would be a light punishment. It could very well be murder and plunder. Right now on Sanglan Star, there's a large group of universe levels. There's over 100 domain lords. And close to 10 sector lords. Luo Feng, tell me, if you were to come out of the world of thunder, how tragic would the consequences be? Mingyu smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. However, with his tall and sturdy build, his smile was indeed terrifying. Luo Feng was indeed shocked. Sector lords? That was an existence that could cause a life planet like Earth to fall into extinction with just one slap. The so-called interstellar fleets, in front of a sector lord, were like toys. Even the Silver Blue Empire, in front of a sector lord, was trembling in fear. Compared to a sector lord, the Nulan Shan family was like an ant. Such existences on Sanglan Star? My God! Lord Mingyu, then what should I do? Luo Feng looked at Mingyu, guessing what this absolute warrior was thinking. You should be able to guess what I'm thinking. Mingyu said very casually. Very simple, you are the earliest batch to arrive in the world within a world. And even though the other star level 9 armies have many people, they're too late. You are the ones with the highest hopes of obtaining the treasures. Sector Lord Kabo has many treasures, even the other sector lords are jealous, of course, just a little bit, even I, as a domain lord, would be moved. What you need to do is, after obtaining the treasures, give them to me. Give them to me. Of course, I won't mistreat you. Mingyu smiled. And, using my name, the large organizations and powers naturally won't make things difficult for you. Those who could become strong were all intelligent people, hence Luo Feng naturally wouldn't reject. After finishing his conversation with Mingyu, Luo Feng left the virtual universe network. Sister-in-law, my brother just came back? Luo Hua was a bit tired as he walked out of his wooden house. Su Xin, who was sitting on a chair outside looking up information, smiled and nodded. Right, he just came to the virtual universe network for a bit. However, he just returned to reality. I have something to talk to him about. Sigh, I missed my chance. Luo Hua creased his eyebrows. What's the matter? Su Xin closed the virtual notebook in front of her. In the virtual universe network, the browsing screen could be set however she wanted. Su Xin came from Earth. She was already used to using a notebook. Naturally, she used the quantum computer to modify it a little. It's the Earth Summit. Luo Hua explained. The leaders of the various countries on Earth are discussing. They want to send a few vanguard troops into the universe. They want to officially make contact with the universe. What? Su Xin creased her eyebrows. Humans are like that. With the consciousness sensor, they can connect to the virtual universe network. However, now they're not satisfied with just relying on the network, they want to make contact in reality. Luo Hua shook his head. They want me to pass a message to my brother. Anyway, I'm just a messenger. I don't have the power to decide. Don't rush. Su Xin creased her eyebrows. Your brother is very busy right now. Wait for him to finish his work, then we'll talk to him about this. Luo Hua thought for a moment, nodding. That's good too. World within a world. In the grass, Luo Feng and his team squatted there. 30. Agreeing with Lord Mingyu was the right thing to do. Thunder God pondered and nodded. What he said makes sense. Those big organizations will definitely team up. They definitely won't let some small fry with no background take away the treasures. I thought so too, that's why I agreed. Luo Feng nodded. However, I'm very worried about one thing. Thunder God creased his eyebrows. After we leave, we have to leave with Mingyu. However, if this Mingyu stealthily kills the few of us and takes the treasures, he won't have to pay any price and will still get all the treasures we have. Right, we have to guard against this. Hong nodded. I'm worried about this too. Luo Feng was troubled too. Only by cooperating with Mingyu could they avoid being attacked by the other strong warriors. However, what if Mingyu plays dirty and kills them? A domain lord warrior, if he wants to kill them, he really can do so with a flip of his hand. Don't worry, Luo Feng. A clear voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. This Mingyu is only looking for you guys for one more reason. One has to know, this first batch of people entering the world within a world has tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people fighting for the treasures. Mingyu doesn't have much confidence in you guys. It's just that in comparison, your chances are much higher than the 2 million army behind. Also, right now on Sanglan Star universe levels, domain lords, sector lords, large amounts of powerful warriors have gathered. This is a rare gathering in the Black Dragon Mountain star field. If anyone dares to rob and kill on Sanglan Star, even the sector lords will immediately find out. That Mingyu isn't so disgusting as to make a move in a place like Sanglan Star. Warriors care a lot about their face and pride. Believe in the promises of the strong. Especially places where the strong gather, like Sanglan Star. Even the most sly and cunning person has to maintain the basic demeanor of a strong warrior. Babata's words made Luo Feng feel relieved. That's true. Domain lords, powerful warriors that can cause a low-level country in the universe to tremble in fear, especially in such a large gathering, they definitely wouldn't play around with their reputation. Right now, the 2 million adventurers' army is continuously entering the world of thunder. They only need 7 to 8 days to reach the world within a world. That's why we can't just wander around the periphery of the world within a world right now. Luo Feng said quietly, we have to hurry and head towards the core of the world within a world. Universe crystals are precious. Thunder God nodded, however. Those treasures that even the sector lords and domain lords want are the truly precious ones. Hong slightly nodded. However, we have to be careful, there were already tens of thousands of people in this world within a world. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows, especially those big organizations, big powers, their teams have all banded together. Compared to them, our team of 5 is simply too weak. That's why we should stay low profile and figure out the situation in the core first. That makes sense. The area with the most universe crystals is the core. That place would definitely have been filled with killing and blood. Thunder God was a bit excited. 8 days in the world within a world. Luo Feng's team never dared to go to the core, because they guessed that that place would be filled with killing and chaos, so they didn't go. And now, they had no choice but to go. Because in 7 to 8 days, the 2 million army that will enter from the entrance will first appear in the periphery. Let's go, Luo Feng commanded. The 5-man team immediately became 5 beams of light, flying towards the center of the world within a world. Chapter 344. Flying in a world within a world, at least there wouldn't be any ferocious beasts. The ferocious beasts of the world of thunder were specially sent in by the Universe Mercenary Alliance for the sake of testing and screening. This world within a world had just been discovered. Of course it was very primitive. However, this new world was even more maddening. Luo Feng and the others flew from the periphery towards the core region. In the short span of 6 days, he had encountered 21 assassination attempts. Once on the first day. On the second day, he was attacked 3 times. On the third day, it happened twice. On the fourth day, he was attacked twice. On the fifth day, he was attacked 5 times. On the sixth day, he was attacked 8 times. Obviously, the closer they were to the core area, the more adventurers there were. Luckily Luo Feng was able to scan the 20 kilometers area, hence, even though they met 21 ambushes, Luo Feng and the others were occasionally in danger, but never really lost out. It was now the 7th day. Judging from the position of the sphere of light, we are very close to the core area. I estimate that we will reach the core area either today or tomorrow. Luo Feng looked up at the light ball in the sky. The position of the light ball was right in the middle of the entire world within a world. Therefore, as long as one headed in the direction of the light sphere, they would be heading to the core area. The closer we get, the more dangerous it will be. We encountered 8 waves of robbing adventurers yesterday. Thunder God did not dare to relax either. Universe crystals, large amounts of universe crystals will indeed make the explorers go crazy. Luo Feng exclaimed. Star-level martial artist, spirit reader. On a barbarian planet, it was enough to proclaim himself king. However, in front of the universe crystals formed by sector lord experts condensing the origin energy of the universe, they would go crazy. Everyone be careful. Luo Feng's expression changed. What's up? Hong, Thunder God, Aogu and Tainan, he all looked at Luo Feng. 3:00 ahead, 19. 2 kilometers away. There are 50 adventurers, of which 48 are star level 9 warriors. Luo Feng communicated mentally. Right now everyone change directions. Quick. After being in the world within a world for so long, Luo Feng and the others were very experienced, immediately turning a corner and speeding up, trying to escape. But after flying for 2 to 3 kilometers, stop. Luo Feng's expression changed. Hong and Thunder God were both in a sorry state. The tough weeds below them were pressed down by the roaring airflow. What's wrong? Hong and Thunder God asked via voice transmissions. There are 50 explorers ahead too. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. What? We'll change directions. Luo Feng was very direct. The team once again changed directions. Earth's 5-man team once again stuck close to the grass plains and flew. However, in the blink of an eye, in the distance a group of black silhouettes suddenly rushed into the sky. Simultaneously from another direction a large group of silhouettes swiftly flew over. A total of 6 groups of people flew up, very uniformly heading towards Luo Feng's team to surround them. There are actually 6 groups of people, and each group has 50 people? A team of 300. Thor's eyes widened. Hurry and run. Luo Feng yelled. Boom. Aogu grabbed Thunder God and Hong, while Luo Feng and Tainan he flew at their highest speeds. Not good, they're faster than us, Thunder God transmitted anxiously. This is troublesome. Hong was also anxious. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at the screen on his arm. On the screen, there were 300 dots of light chasing after 5 dots. Clearly, these 300 people were unified and had a commander. They spread out in a fan shape. Once a small team crashed into them, the 300 people would surround them and devour them like dumplings. Luo Feng, their speed is faster than yours. The group at the very front are all star level 9 spirit readers riding on spirit weapons. And you only have 1 spirit reader, Aogu, and you still have to bring Hong and Thunder God. According to my estimations, after another 600 kilometers, they'll catch up to you. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. 600 kilometers? With the speed of their group, 600 kilometers was too short a distance. They're getting closer and closer. Thunder God said urgently. Follow me. Luo Feng communicated through his spiritual force. 5 beams of light formed an arc, whistling through the air and flying into the distance. Behind them, there were countless beams of light chasing after them. Of the 300 beams of light chasing after them, the ones at the front were naturally the spirit readers riding on their spirit weapons. The fighters were a little slower, mainly protecting the elite. Master, they're about to catch up. Aogu communicated. I'll bring Master alone. In Aogu and Tainan He's eyes, they would only acknowledge their master, Luo Feng. At such a crucial moment, they would definitely protect him. Luo Feng's eyes stared straight ahead. Ahead was the huge forest that bordered the grass plains. Ahead. Go down. Luo Feng communicated through his spiritual force. The 5 of them rushed downwards, immediately rushing into the forest. 300 beams of light madly rushed downwards, continuing the chase. A few minutes later, in the air above the forest, 300 silhouettes converged. Captain, don't chase. A cold-looking youth with purple lips, dressed in a silver armor and black boots ordered. This forest is too big. Once they go in, it'll be really hard for us to find them. Also, a small team of 5, I don't think we'll get much universe crystals. Return and continue hunting in the grass plains. Yes. The 300 beams of light swiftly returned. Within the forest, Luo Feng and the others all let out a sigh of relief. Luckily, we made it into the forest. Thunder God let out a long sigh of relief. We'll have the advantage in the forest. Hong nodded. The forest was lush, it was easy to hide. And at this time, Luo Feng's scouting equipment was of great use. Luckily we ran fast, if we were any slower we'd be finished. Luo Feng laughed. If they were any slower, then they could only send the golden horned beast out. However, that way, the news of the golden horned beast being in the world within a world would quickly leak out. A star level 9 golden horned beast would definitely be considered an infant golden horned beast. When that time came, even undying beings would be attracted. Undying beings, as long as they guarded the entrance to the world of thunder, it would be like catching a turtle in a jar. Luo Feng would have nowhere to run. To use the golden horned beast, it has to be at night, and the moment it's used, it has to kill the enemies cleanly. We definitely can't let them spread the news outside. Luo Feng thought. 30. It's not easy to hide in the grass plains. If we fly a little faster, the wind will blow up the grass. It'll be easy for the robbers to spot us. Thunder God said. The grass plains and plains are more dangerous. Hong nodded. Let's advance from the forest. Taking a detour won't make much of a difference. Luo Feng nodded. However, the closer they got to the center, it was obvious that the number of adventurer teams was much higher. This 7th day had just begun. Luo Feng and the others had already met 3 teams. 2 of them were large teams with over 100 people. Against such a large team, Luo Feng didn't dare to fight them head-on. After all, the moment the battle broke out, there might be casualties on his side. The 7th day, Luo Feng's team had already advanced in the forest for about 8 hours. The white ball of light in the sky had already dimmed. About 120 kilometers away from Luo Feng's team, at the top of a thick tree in the forest, there were 3 human silhouettes floating and hiding in the leaves. These 3 were all holding long-distance vision devices, looking down from above, looking into the distance. Captain. One of them lowered his head and looked below. Under this thick tree there were 12 people resting. One of them was dressed in a dark alloy armor, carrying a huge axe on his back. His face covered in strange markings. A green-skinned strong man frowned and looked up into the sky. There's prey, a total of 5 people. The scout above said. Ah! The captain rushed into the sky, floating in the leaves, borrowing binoculars from the side. Binoculars and other devices, these were definitely equipment for adventurers. In the universe, there were many places with strong gravity, or strange magnetic fields. Spirit reading would be affected. At this time, looking with the naked eye would be more effective. Some binoculars and other devices would naturally be useful. 5 of them? The captain looked through the binoculars, with his already shocking vision, under the guidance of the scout beside. He very quickly saw 5 silhouettes in the distance, occasionally peeking out from the dense forest. Everyone get up, prepare to move. The captain communicated via genetic energy. Who? The group of team members under the tree swiftly got up. Captain, how's the prey's strength? Don't worry, there's only 5 of them, they can't be that strong. The team leader said. His words immediately caused the team members to smile. They loved this kind of killing without much risk, and the returns were extremely high. One had to know that the earliest batch to arrive in the world within a world, as long as they didn't die in the chaotic battles at the beginning, who wouldn't have some worth. A few hundred cubic meters of universe crystals was very common. Outside, a few hundred cubic meters of universe crystals, even buying a star level 9 slave was enough to buy a ship. Let's go all out this time, our future generations will be rich for tens of millions of years. Many of the team members who had no hope of breaking through to the universe level just wanted to get rich, enjoy themselves in the future, nurture their future generations, etc. Quick, be careful, don't let the 5 fat sheep discover us. The moment they discover us and escape, It'll be very hard to find them again in the forest. Be careful. Quick, there's still 20 kilometers. 10 kilometers. 5 kilometers. Everyone get ready, move out. This small hunting team of 15 people immediately rushed out from behind a few large trees, or from the dense foliage, all of them moving at an insane speed, becoming beams of light and lightning, rushing towards Luo Feng's team. Xiao. A blue light flashed, its speed extremely fast, drawing an arc through the 13 silhouettes, immediately slicing off the heads of the 13-star level 9 warriors. Fresh blood and brain matter splattered everywhere. The blue light made a slight turn, directly passing through the two elites. One of them was the green-skinned captain. That captain's eyes were wide with fear. Obviously, he didn't expect the 5 weak fat sheep to suddenly transform into ferocious wolves. Master, kill them all, Aogu said respectfully. Okay. Luo Feng nodded, after which he looked at the 15 corpses scattered around, at a distance of 20 kilometers. He had already discovered these 15 people. After scanning, of these 15, 13 were star level 9 warriors. Luo Feng obviously wouldn't flee, instead he would swallow the opponents. Even though, during the 7 days of rushing from the periphery to the core area, he had met with many robberies, most of them were fleeing. However, there were still 6 times where Luo Feng swallowed the opponent's whole. With Aogu and the hybrid copper essence shard, as long as there were 20 star level 9 warriors, he would definitely be able to sweep through them. Check and see how many universe crystals there are. Luo Feng went to check. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 345. Ah, that's quite a lot. This 15-man team actually has close to 8,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. Luo Feng smiled as he threw the 2 storage rings he had just acquired to Hong. Big brother, keep these. Hong extended his hand to grab them, smiling. These kinds of teams, the more times we meet them the better. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. With enough universe crystals, when the time comes, we can even buy universe-level slaves. That way, our Earth's foundation in the universe will be more stable. The current Earth, as an aboriginal planet, was simply too weak. Any slightly bigger wave would cause it to collapse. Hence, the 3 of them had to fight hard. Adding this 8,000 cubic meters now, we have a total. Thunder God counted with his fingers, muttering, in the past 8 days, we've dug up 96,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. In the 7 days of rushing, we've dug up close to 26,000 cubic meters of universe crystals along the way. Before this, we've swallowed the teams that robbed us 6 times, earning close to 52,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. Adding today's 8,000 cubic meters, a total of, over 180,000 cubic meters. With just these numbers, with just a thought, I know the answer. Luo Feng teased, second brother, look at you, do you still look like the head of the Thunder Dojo? From what I see, you're just a tofu vendor, counting how much money you earn in a day. I'm just proud, so what? Thunder God blinked, rubbing his bald head. I've never seen so much money before, right? Over 180,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. This was a huge amount of wealth. Even to the Nulan Shan family, this was an astronomical figure. A normal life planet, over $1 trillion black dragon dollars, that was not bad. Over $1 trillion black dragon dollars, that was 700 million Ganwu dollars. 1,000 life planets, that was worth 700 billion Ganwu dollars. And 180,000 cubic meters of universe crystals and 700 billion Ganwu dollars. The difference wasn't that huge. A world within a world, it's really a huge treasure trove. Hong couldn't help but exclaim. The creation of a world within a world is 10 times harder than a normal world. Luo Feng smiled. It needs to be more stable, naturally it needs more universe crystals. To create a world within a world, even for a Sector Lord Pinnacle Warrior, that's a huge price to pay. To a Sector Lord, joining any empire, they'll be able to gain a galaxy territory. Some galaxies have hundreds of thousands of habitable planets. Some galaxies even have millions of habitable planets. The wealth of a world within a world is no less than a galaxy. What we have now is just a drop in the ocean. It's only equivalent to a few hundred planets. Luo Feng said it casually, however he was extremely happy within. The assets of the Nulan Shan family was only over 1,000 life planets. Therefore, exploring a new world, the universe-level warriors would kill each other, and a bunch of warriors would fall. It was because wealth moved people's hearts. If it wasn't for that Rania, who stopped so many powerful beings, how could these little star states get their hands on these riches? Only 180,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. In the small corner of the universe, the Milky Way, they were considered super rich. However, our wealth is only about a third of the Nulan Shan families. Luo Feng laughed. Compared to the Domain Lord, it's even worse. Therefore, everyone needs to continue working hard. Haha, that's right, it's still not enough. Thunder God laughed. The opportunities of a world within a world are hard to come by even in 10,000 years. If we don't make a killing now, how can we face ourselves? Hong teased and laughed. Let's go. Luo Feng waved the alloy blade in his hand, pointing in the direction of the core region. Under the sunlight, the alloy blade reflected a glaring light. 30. Your posture is quite impressive. Can't you be proud? Haha, Luo Feng's team was in a good mood, laughing and joking around for a while, after which they quietly headed towards the core region. When the sky turned dark, Luo Feng and his team finally reached the core region. At this time, their wealth had already risen to over 190,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. To have such a harvest, one was due to Babata's vigilance, the second was due to Ao Gu and the hybrid copper essence shard's powerful combination. The core region of the world within a world was a beautiful plain. The ground was filled with strange short flowers and plants. These flowers and plants were all about 10 centimeters tall, extremely flat, almost as though someone was trimming them. The terrain was gentle, with very little undulations. My God! Just how many people have died here? Luo Feng and his team were extremely shocked in the dark of the plain. In the dark of the night, the sky would occasionally emit a weak white light, allowing Luo Feng to barely see a few hundred meters around him. With a glance, just within a few hundred meters, there were over 30 corpses lying on the ground. There were men and women, some resembling beastmen, some resembling earth humans, just that they were all dead. Even their corpses were split apart. Kacha. Luo Feng's alloy boots, that pure alloy forged sturdy boots, stepped on a piece of white bone, making a sound. This. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. 30. What you said before was right. This core region is indeed filled with intense killings. Thunder God said solemnly, we've only just entered the core region not long ago. Just the corpses we've seen already number over 100. The entire core region is so huge, just how many people have died? The core region has 99% of the universe crystals in the world within a world. Of course the killing is the craziest here. Luo Feng sighed. Even if we were here, we'd probably still kill. Hong exclaimed. 99% of the universe crystals were all in the core region. Because the core region was the cornerstone of the entire world within a world. Of course, the core universe crystals were all protected, unable to be excavated. The moment they were excavated, the entire world within a world would collapse. When a world was built, the core universe crystal would form a supply cycle, naturally absorbing the universe energy from the outside. This resulted in the large amounts of universe crystals surrounding the core universe crystal. As for the distant surroundings, Luo Feng and his team had excavated before. Those were scattered universe crystals. The amount was small. Birds die for food, humans die for wealth. Luo Feng sighed, let's go. Luo Feng and his team carefully made their way towards the center of the core region. Wherever they passed, they would occasionally see a few deep pits on the plains, obviously the pits used to excavate universe crystals. Around the pits, there would often be star-level explorers' corpses. The blood had long dried. An hour later. Get down. Advance. Luo Feng and his team crawled, arriving at a slightly protruding hill peak, looking into the distance. In the distance, there was a faint glow. At the same time there were many human silhouettes. That is. Luo Feng flipped his hand, retrieving a pair of binoculars. Before entering, Luo Feng and his team didn't buy these binoculars. However, after killing a few small teams, they found some special equipment in their space rings. Luo Feng naturally kept them. So many people. Through the Universe Explorer telescope, Luo Feng could clearly see the human silhouettes a few hundred km away. Damn. Beside, Thunder God held the binoculars too, muttering, there should be over 1,000. That's quite a lot. Hong nodded. There's a sound. Tai Nan, he suddenly said. Right, there's a sound. Aogu said too. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God looked at Tai Nan, he and Aogu. These two bodyguards were star level 9. Their hearing and vision were much stronger than Luo Feng and his team. What are they saying? Luo Feng asked. Master, if you advance another one to 200 km, you'll be able to hear them clearly. Aogu explained. Alright. Luo Feng nodded. Anyway, they were close to 600 kilometers away from the large group. Advancing another one to 200 km was still within the safe zone. Advance. Luo Feng and his team carefully and swiftly advanced. As they got closer, they indeed heard the unceasing shouts. Adventurers! One world was enough to make the universe-level warriors and domain lords go green with envy. This world within a world is 10 times rarer than one world, 10 times more precious. That's why right now on Songlan Star, at the exit of the World of Thunder, there have long been large amounts of universe-level warriors, domain lords and even great sector lords. Our Black Dragon Mountain star fields, 2 sacred lands, 4 great organizations and 16 great families have all sent their warriors here. The treasures of the world within a world are destined to be obtained by our Black Dragon Mountain star field. That's why the large organizations and powers have long since agreed, if it's not the 2 sacred lands, 4 great organizations or 16 great families adventurers. The moment they leave the World of Thunder, they'll be immediately captured and arrested. The distant voices were extremely loud, traveling over a few hundred km. Luo Feng and the others could clearly hear them. Obviously, they were intentionally shouting. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. These words, they'd already heard from the domain Lord Mingyu. After which, Luo Feng and the others continued listening. No matter how many universe crystals you get, or even some special treasures, it's useless. As long as it's not our 2 sacred lands, 4 great organizations or 16 great families, they'll all be captured. You'll be working for nothing. And right now you have a chance. As long as you join our North Dragon City, temporarily become an external member of our North Dragon City. Our North Dragon City, with our reputation as a guarantee, when you leave the World of Thunder, return to Songlan Star. You'll also be protected by our North Dragon City. You won't be arrested. As for the universe crystals you obtained before, no one will steal them. All you need to do is to join us. Help our North Dragon City obtain the treasures. As long as you join our 100 Tiger Building temporarily, then you won't have to worry about your safety. No one will care about the universe crystals you obtain. All you need to do is listen to our 100 Tiger Building's orders. Join us, help our 100 Tiger Building obtain the treasures. Thick and powerful voices in the common language of the universe spread across the vast plains. Luo Feng and the others looked at each other. Yes. 100 Tiger Building, North Dragon City, Black Cloud Guild, Sacred Land Black Dragon Mountain, Sacred Land Ice Sea Godly Country. Right now, they're all crazily trying to rope in some freelance adventurers, all using their organization's reputations to guarantee that they definitely won't steal the universe crystals of the adventurers. Right, universe crystals? Even if it's all the universe crystals in the world within a world, the 4 great organizations and 2 sacred lands wouldn't care much about it. Luo Feng slightly nodded. What they care about are the important treasures of Sector Lord Kabo. Those are the true treasures. Right now they're trying to rope in freelance adventurers, Hong laughed. Right, the 4 great organizations and 2 sacred lands that came here to take the mercenary trainee exam are all elites. Since they're elites, there won't be too many of them. Each organization probably only has a few hundred to 1,000 people. The ones who truly have the advantage in numbers are the tens of thousands of freelance adventurers. They came from different countries, different galaxies, different races. Large amounts of adventurers with no powerful backgrounds, no powerful backers. They're weak. However, they have more people. Added together, they far exceed the numbers of the 4 great organizations and 2 sacred land. What do we do? Frowned Hong.